Greetings and welcome to Continuity Error Live. Yeah, that's right. No jump cuts, no edits. This is a raw, untouched recording. This is live streamed. So for those of you watching, not live after it's uploaded the recording, hopefully I'll have added timestamps in the description by now. So feel free to jump ahead to wherever you need to go. Because there are going to be a variety of little topics we're going to be discussing today. And I'm going to try and timestamp all the relevant things. And of course, because this is a live stream, you're not getting the usual high density, fully scripted to the letter, although I do improvise quite a bit. I'll talk about that soon. There it is. You're not going to get that in a... Well, you might, but... We're live! It's a live stream, but the neat thing about this is that rather than that highly polished edited experience you're used to, I get to have a real-time interaction with you, the viewer, in live chat, which I just remembered isn't on screen. So if you want to read what was said in live chat, you're gonna have to go out full screen. Sorry, look, it's really difficult to set up anyway, and it never looks at good quality. And, again, we'll get more into that because, well, I mean, this is a first. This is a unique thing for the channel. There's so much I've got to say. I've got a little script here, not a script. I've got a list of notes, which I'm basically going to run through. But one thing I do want to do before we begin is acknowledge live chat. Fellas, I have a lot to say in this live stream. This is going to be a lot of different things, so please be patient. I acknowledge your messages, but I might not respond to them immediately. It might take me a few minutes because I want to finish my points so that the timestamps are all clean and then reply to it. So if it takes me a while to respond to what you're saying, just please be patient. I'll be there shortly. And yeah, I mean, I want this to be as accessible as possible. And essentially, the list of bullet points I got are questions. So I'm going to start off with the most basic question for just a random average viewer stumbling across this on YouTube. Hey, what is continuity error? What am I even watching right now? I mean, something about the title and thumbnail must have appealed to you, although it's fairly bare bones. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But yeah, guys, welcome to Continuity Error, which, as the channel description says, is yet another Gen Z white boy middle class intellectuals serious attempt at contriving meaning out of nonsense like Five Nights at Freddy's, and other indie video games in universal lore or real-life meta. Video essay analysis, pretentious gibberish, jargon, nonsense, blah blah blah, description. You get the gist of it. Look, I don't take anything too seriously. I just feel like that's not how life is meant to be lived. And, this channel, I don't take too seriously, but truthfully, there is a bit of that, pretentious writer inside of me. I do take pride on the work I do here, and I love it. I love what I do. It's, as I've described, video essays on the lore, in-universe, and the meta kind of, analysis, be it game design or storytelling or whatever, of Five Nights at Freddy's, among other games. And the history of this channel is interesting because it has changed over time, but that's going to be one of the last things I talk about, so I'm just going to read chat, then we're going to get straight into this. Excuse me, I'm a bit snivelly. Man. I've not been feeling well lately. It's kind of unfortunate timing. And I really need to shave, honestly. Like, this facial hair is a bit much. But that's just how it is right now. This whole setup, I made this today in, like, an hour because I just hadn't had time to work on it sooner, and, like, I could have put more effort in, but for one stream, because, you know what, guys, this might be the only time Continuity Error ever goes live. I have no plans for future live streams on this channel. This is probably, unless I come up with something, the one and only time you are ever going to have this live interaction with me on this channel. Because as some of you know, there's another channel, but again, we'll get into that. So, just to catch up with chat, Chaotic Silver, hello. Mac is masochistic. The logo sure is bright today. Let me show you guys the setup, alright? So, if I just click this, ta-da! this is what we're going to be having for most of the stream. I hope you like it. I can switch back to this on the screen as well, just like so. But yeah, I mean, this is actually the outro card. What I've got here is I've actually got the outro card from the actual videos, just looping in the background. Again, I'm already doing the Q&A, but guys, I'm going to be answering questions, you know, as I go along. So, you know, feel free to just ask me questions in chat, and I'll just do them between each segment. Right now, we're still just in the intro. I don't know how exactly I'm going to timestamp this, but yeah. But yeah, honestly, yeah, the intro music, by the way, which I'll talk more about later, absolutely iconic. That In Space with Markiplier scene, absolutely just phenomenal, just amazing. I keep flipping between the two. I'm going to stay on here for a minute for consistency, but yeah, that scene is so badass. It feels so empty, doesn't it, without all the things. But yes, happy 9 years to FNaF is the main thing, right? Hello, Livy. Welcome to stream. Donnie Productions, thank you for joining. Yes, today is the 9-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm here to fulfill something that I've been planning for a very long time. Super Mario DJ, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Can't wait for the clip of every or, you know, from the stream. Yeah. Chaotic Silver, yeah, this is a very special moment. You are one of very few people. Take pride in this. This is a very exclusive club, this one. Unless I live stream again, but even if I do, the first will be gone forever. Once this is over, it's gone forever. This is the first, it's the only. We only have one chance to make this what we want to make it, so we got to do, you know, our absolute best. So, yeah. Now, there's a bunch of things to talk about and get into. So, I'm just going to get on with this, really. I've talked about what continuity error is briefly. I've acknowledged chat. So, you might be asking, okay, why am I doing a live stream on here for the FNaF anniversary? And that all goes back to something I made in Notepad here. This is a document that I made in 2019 or 2020. This is like 3, 4, 5 years old now. And it's basically a list of every FNaF anniversary event I've done on YouTube. All the content that I've produced. And now you might be wondering, well, where on earth do I find all this stuff? It's not on Continuity Hour. And you're quite right. I have multiple channels. The main channel, I wouldn't consider it a main, but the one where you'll find most of this is linked in the description. It's also on the banner. I have a second channel. And the other one is, you're not going to find it. You can try, but it's going to take you a while. But yeah, going all the way back to 2017, I've done like all kinds of bits and bobs for FNaF anniversaries. And recently, what I've been wanting to do, I don't want to spoil too much because the plans for the 10th anniversary are subject to change. Basically, we're doing this. We're doing this right now. Every year I want to visit a different aspect of FNaF up to the 10th anniversary. The decade of FNaF, the double digits, that's going to be a big thing, and I want to be there for it. And, you know, this was originally planned for the 8-year anniversary, but to put it mildly, the FNaF Lore, I mean, I did a FNaF Lore thing in 2020, which was honestly crap. I mean, it wasn't a podcast. That thing was crap. The actual document itself was less crap, and that was in 2019. That was a good time. But the FNaF Lore in the last few years has changed, and my feelings about it have changed. So this has just kind of been delayed and pushed back and kind of shoved into a corner here. But I'll be damned if I don't make the most of it. So, again, this is all stuff you can ask me about in the Q&A later, if you so wish. This stream's going to be 3 or 4 hours long. I'm going to be here. There's going to be a break. Like, we're going to take our time. But that is something to come back to. What we're doing right now is not just a Q&A for Continuity Era, but a deep dive into the FNaF Lore. And you might be thinking, well, they're two different things, right? Yes, but also it's relevant. Which goes onto my second notepad, which I'll just reveal, because this is probably going to be how I structure the timestamps anyway. This is a list of everything I'm planning to talk about today. There's going to be more, obviously. I can see you in chat. Insta, Creenella, Lucy, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Greetings, Mr. Continuity Error. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, indeed, Donnie. Indeed. I will clear up the confusion when I decide to, because I like keeping people confused and in the dark. We do a little trolling. But yeah. So, are we going to delve into the books today? That is up to you, actually. That is up to you. So, okay, the reason I'm doing a live stream here on the FNaF anniversary is partly tied into what this channel is, partly tied into my relationship with FNaF, and partly just tied into convenience. So, the thing is, I've always wanted to do a live stream for Continuity Era. This has been planned for a long time, and I just kind of figured, you know, there's... it's hard to explain this. I'm really trying to get the flow going, but again, this isn't an edited video, guys. There's going to be moments like this. The thing is, Continuity Era originally started as a FNaF channel, a FNaF-only channel, but that has changed. It's quite ironic, but Continuity Era, just like Five Nights at Freddy's, has very much been improvised and changed and evolved rapidly as time has progressed. I think I've settled on its final form now, and I think this stream is going to mark that. And it's actually just coincidence, honestly, or just unfortunate timing that it released at the exact same time as this premiere, because this video has just been delayed massively. It is actually ridiculous that this year I have only released 3 videos. 1, 2, 3. Whereas in like 6 months, I released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I promise uploads will pick back up. I don't know when, but hopefully, finally, they should in September. It's weird. I'm actually probably going to be less busy this September than I'm going to be during the summer, because everything is piling on at once in the summer. I'm a busy guy. Now that my degree, my uni module isn't like in full swing, you know, the summer's going, you know, and it's basically said to me it's free real estate, and yeah, we're doing things. If you want to do stuff for the Q&A, by the way, you can leave comments here, but you might as well just use live chat. I won't miss it. So yeah, now we've got a couple things to talk about. And I didn't mean to launch Minecraft. Don't do that. But yeah. So the next thing on my list is kind of just to talk about what is the FNaF lore. Before we get into the nitty-gritty depths of all this stuff I have, I gotta do like an hour of unnecessary exposition. And wouldn't it be nice if I had some big fancy presentation that basically covered the entirety of the FNaF lore for beginners, the basics, what you need to know? Well, luckily for me, someone's already made just that, and I don't need to do my own thing, because if we head over to this page on Reddit, you can see this conversation here. One of the mods with a probably ironic nickname with the original poster has actually pinned this to Reddit. The official Five Nights at Freddy's subreddit has this pinned. It's just there for all people to see. And I won't lie, it's a very useful resource, but I've never actually gone through it and taken the time to look at it. I don't know where exactly it is. It's like somewhere on the sidebar here. It's one of these. Anyway, this right here is a so-called unbiased guide to FNaF as a whole. So what I'm going to do, before we get into Continuity Era and the Q&A, is just talk about the FNaF lore, and I want to use this. This has been created by u/bonfimbr. I have no idea who this person is. I've never met them. They exist, I guess. And I'm very grateful for all the work they've put into this, because it's clearly quite cool. They're posting stuff on Reddit, you can check them out. Excuse me. Let me open the image in a new tab. Here we go, we'll get a nice look at this. Can I view it as an image, please? Why is this so difficult? Okay, that's weird. You zoom in to zoom out? Okay, maybe I should just download this. Let me just put it in my downloads folder, because I don't remember this being so... Here we go. This will be much easier to view. Okay. So, don't worry about any of this right now. Alright. You guys see this? Can I full screen, please? Thank you. Alright. So, this is what we're going to be doing. FNaF Lore for Dummies. Great way to put it, Insta. I have not read through this. I've only taken a glance at it. I haven't actually investigated it. I want to review this. I want to be an absolute, you know, classic FNaF theorist, also known as a prick. Am I allowed to swear? I haven't really made rules for myself there. Fuck it, let's find out. I'm going to be an absolute prick, and I'm going to review this, and I'm going to judge it. I'm going to judge all over it. I want to know, is this really a good introduction to the FNaF lore for beginners? I feel like I am in a position of knowledge to judge this. Jokes aside, though, guys, I'm really curious about what exactly this says. Agree or disagree, I'm sure it's, you know, pretty much the best it could be. But yes, saying a slur out of spite sounds kind of hilarious and cringe, not gonna lie. Wait, what was this? What did you say? The magic of live streams. Everything you do is watched by people and you can't reverse it. Better not say a slur. Haha, don't test me. I'm gonna say the N-word. You can't stop me, Spider-Man. Okay, I don't want to move my mic around because I will actually knock over my speakers. My whole room is a bit of a mess. If you notice, my background's different today. Again, something I can talk about in the Q&A later. But yeah, racist jokes aside, let's continue. Moishiro, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. Really appreciate the support. Guys, if you want to leave a like, that would really go a long way. If we hit the algorithm, we might get a surprise. We might get people tuning in, just finding me from the algorithm. That would be awesome. But yeah. Anyways, let's get on with this. So, Five Nights at Freddy's, a hopefully helpful guide to understanding the series and its lore. Basic concepts. So we've got concepts, games and books, timeline, and unanswered questions. Let's deep dive into this, and slight warning, I guess, spoilers for all of the FNaF lore videos on the channel. I'm going to be discussing and referencing things from those videos. If you haven't seen them, you might be spoiled on the contents of my exact theories. But if you don't care about that, then just enjoy the stream. Let's do this. So, Afton family. The Afton family consists mainly of William Afton, the purple guy, and murder of the children. Elizabeth Afton and Michael Afton, both William's children. The bite victim from FNaF 4 is heavily implied, although not confirmed, to be an Afton as well. The Aftons are a huge part of the new trilogy, part of the games, with William being the main villain throughout the entire series since FNaF 2. Henry used to be William's old partner before the murderer killed his daughter. Afton is also responsible for making the Funtime animatronics, using a company named Afton Robotics, with the goal of kidnapping and killing children, most likely to collect their remnant. Okay, so, honestly, this is impressive. I'm very impressed. If you guys know anything about the FNaF theorist community, never mind the broader FNaF community, in this day and age, it is, quite frankly, a toxic cesspit of cringe. It is a hellhole. And that's kind of why I avoid it these days, although obviously there are exceptions, such as these videos, where I want to reach out and have a reasonable discussion, which is so difficult to find on the FNaF Reddits. But I have to say, for a FNaF Reddit user, this is really good. In terms of actually being unbiased and helpful, this is really good because it gets specific. It doesn't generalize. It doesn't be vague. It is specific, and it's clear, and it's concise. And I respect this, because cramming all this information like this is clearly difficult. You can see how big this page is. Everything stated on here is true. Now, if you watched the premiere just now, you'll know that I actually said there's no way to actually prove the Afton family in the games. It's kind of ridiculous, but I don't believe any proof exists that the Foxy Mask wearing bully brother from FNaF 4 is actually Michael Afton in Sister Location and FNaF 1 and the rest. It's implied, and I absolutely wholeheartedly believe it, but from an actual point of view of evidence, even if we include the books and stuff and extrapolate from, like, frights, like, there's no actual proof, and I think that's really bizarre. I think the only confirmed child of William is Elizabeth. Of course, you know, I guess Michael is absolutely confirmed in Sister Location with that sprite and the final cutscene. He is absolutely confirmed to be William's son. But whether or not Foxy Mask Bro is also Mike there is up for debate. Technically, I want to believe it, but it's not been proven. Although I guess that comes back to the bite victim. And this is where this part shines. It specifies that Elizabeth and Michael are Aftons and children of William, who is obviously confirmed to be the purple guy. It's, you know, silver eyes, you know, Pizza Sim credits, like, there's all kinds of sources for that. That's not something I don't think we need to go over in detail. And I'm going to say that for a lot of things. There's a lot of things we don't need to go over in detail. I don't think I need to prove to you guys that Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy are possessed by 5 children murdered in Freddy's by Purple. I don't think I need to prove that. But, yeah, the bite victim has never actually been proven to be the child of William Afton. There is no evidence, because FNaF 4 is just so vague, and Pizza Sim and Sister Location, neither of them actually did anything to kind of pick up the pieces. UCN, none of these, nothing has done the job of picking up the pieces and just clarifying where FNaF 4 fits into everything. Which is why I'm concerned that this timeline is going to be wrong in some way because of FNaF 4. William is, of course, the main villain. Henry being William's old partner before the murderer killed his daughter is a fact. That's kind of how everything began. We know about the Fun Times, Afton Robotics, and Remnant from Sister Location, the novels, Pizza Sim. It says most likely to collect their Remnant, but I feel like you could say yes to collect their Remnant. I feel like that is maybe not confirmed, but like virtually confirmed. It's like, I'd say I'm 99% confident because of everything we know about the Scooper, and again, the novel parallels. You know, that's like saying Mangle did the bite of 87. It's basically a confirmed fact at this point. There's no actual proof, but like, we all know, it's like, it's obvious. There's so much evidence. It's like, I'm 99% sure. So that's the Afton family. I actually am impressed. I think I like that they qualified little shithead here, not having a name, not having a clear role in the story. Fuck this character. I actually despise this character. I wish he was just better written. Like, this is just missing potential right here. Alright, missing children. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to try and fly through these a bit quicker because I know, you know, time's limited. So, the group of children that have been murdered by William Afton. They possess Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, question mark, and the puppet. They seek revenge against William by controlling the animatronics and using them to murder night guards in hopes they find their killer and thus be freed. The puppet is possessed by Henry's daughter and is shown to care deeply for the rest of the children. It's unknown whether the kids are aware of what they are doing or are simply confused and scared. So, most of this, again, spot on, absolutely factually correct. You know, they got the concept and the characters and everything right. I think it's interesting that there's a question mark over Golden Freddy. And FNaF 4 is the root of that issue, because it's kind of thrown into question, hang on, is Golden Freddy the 5th victim of the missing children's incident, the one mentioned in the newspaper in FNaF 1? Or are they the Fredbear bite victim? Or are they both? And there's problems with all of the explanations for these, and none of them explain everything, which is why it's really annoying. Golden Freddy is an annoying character. I don't hate Golden Freddy, but I've recently come to understand why. Because if you look at it objectively, Golden Freddy's character arc sucks. It's garbage, which is a shame. Because again, it's a case of missing potential. Unlike Puppet. Puppet's a Giga Chad. Easily one of my favorite characters. Really well written. I gotta hydrate. I'm talking a lot, so if I take pauses, I just need to keep all this moist. Stay hydrated, guys. Very important. Stay hydrated. Anyway, but yeah, Puppet being Henry's daughter and is shown to care deeply, that's all confirmed. Something which I am a little confused on is, it's unknown whether the kids are aware of what they are doing or are simply confused and scared. I think between the FNaF 3 Happiest Day minigames, the novels, and Ultimate Custom Night, and maybe some of Fazbear Fright, I think it's pretty clear what's going on. The children are just confused and scared. The children's souls are in the flip side. They're in a kind of different it's hard to explain. The best way I can explain it is that the actual souls, Gabriel, Jeremy, Susie, and Fritz, and whoever else, they're in another kind of reality, a dimension. They're in the flip side. It's kind of like a world made from memories. It's entirely powered by agony, or the other emotional energies that we're seeing in Frights. We also saw it with Remnant in the Fourth Closet. When Carlton gets injected with Remnant, he's able to go to this kind of like dream dimension and interact with them. It's like they're in like a hazy dream based on their last living memories. They are completely oblivious to reality. The animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, have their own personalities with their own consciousnesses, and they are pretty much just feral animals. Ultimate Custom Night's a bit weird with this because they do actually like speak and they seem to have conscious thought. I don't know Because that's the animatronics. That's not the kids. That's the animatronics. But they basically have their own consciousness powered by the remnant of the... It's very confusing. I still don't understand the difference between remnant and agony. I think agony is like a component of remnant. Like remnant is made from agony, molten metal, and maybe a couple other things. Because like remnant is like the physical, like mercurial, you know, substance. Remnant is also in Fright. It's like a mercurial kind of liquid metal substance, which I think is just like a physical binding agent for emotional energy, because that doesn't really have a physical form. I'm already going off into the deep end. If you haven't read Fetch or Epilogue 3, you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Let's just move on. Don't worry about any of that. This is fair. Fair. Like, maybe this isn't confirmed, but to me it's pretty clear-cut. Of course, that isn't the case for some animatronics. Because some souls have a different will, different amounts of willpower and different emotions. Like Puppet, Charlotte is very much aware of everything because she is the puppet. They are one, rather than two separate consciousnesses. Same with Springtrap. Springtrap is William Afton. Again, the rules are different for different possessions. I'm going to let that one slide. I think that's fair because what I've said is just insane nonsense. It's too complicated. Fazbear Entertainment. Alright. The ones behind Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Fazbear Entertainment is shown to be greedy, uncaring, despicable company that isn't above covering up tragedies and later using them for its own profit later down the line. It denies any wrongdoing caused by it or its employees, going as far as saying all the murders and incidents are mere fabrications and lies to tarnish their reputation. It apparently met its end after FNaF 1, but it suddenly came back with full I gotta do this. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it. It apparently met its end after FNaF 1, but it suddenly came back with full strength 30 years later through unknown means. Modern Fazbear Entertainment is just as terrible as its old counterpart, going out of their way to commission various games that intentionally ruin their public view, only to make a game themselves to disprove said rumours, all for the sake of gathering attention to the company once more. Phone Guy, a long-time employee of the company, is the player's only company throughout FNaF 1, 2, and for most of 3, with pre-recorded messages. He was killed by Golden Freddy at the end of 1. Isn't that interesting? Alright, so Fazbear Entertainment is not like evil incarnate, but damn, I think this is a justified description. It absolutely does all of these things. It is an evil... It is like a murky, questionable company. It's not evil, but it's very questionable. It apparently met its end after FNaF 1, but it suddenly came back with full strength 30 years later through unknown means. No. That is an outlandish theory. Fazbear Entertainment died in the 90s. It doesn't exist in the 21st century. Alright, that's silly. Because, like, where are you getting that from? Help Wanted? Oh, man. Help Wanted cannot exist in the same universe as FNaF 1. It just can't. It doesn't make any sense for so many reasons. Don't even talk to me about Security Breach. That should not be included on here. Although, I have to say, the idea that there's a separate Fazbear Entertainment in the modern era, that it's a completely different Fazbear Entertainment, is interesting. I feel like that could have been interesting in Fazbear Frights, but... Don't talk to me about the Help Wanted story, man. It's probably one of the worst things this franchise has ever come up with. It's also actually tragic that they attempted the same story 3 times in the books, and all of them suck. But Phone Guy, obviously, that's true. Killed by Golden Freddy. I mean, yeah, it's not really confirmed, but it's definitely implied, so I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Killed by Golden Freddy. Alright. Remnant. Guys, I'll respond to chat when I'm done with each section. So once I've done all 6 of the basic concepts, I'll reply to chat. So Remnant. What have they got here? The mysterious substance William Afton is implied to deeply desire for himself. No specifics are given regarding what Remnant is exactly, but the implications are that it's a piece of a soul that means literally the essence of which a ghost is made of. Molten metal that has been possessed by a soul and thus given strange properties because of it can also be called Remnant. Ooh, okay. Remnant is seemingly able to power animatronics and keep a person from dying no matter how dire their state is, as shown with Michael Afton. The Scooper, a tool in Circus Baby's entertainment and rental, has a Remnant reservoir and injects it into whatever it hits, as shown with Michael Afton. Remnant can be neutralized and lose its properties if it's exposed to high temperatures. Special Delivery introduces a new type of Remnant, Shadow Remnant, which is heavily implied to be associated with Shadow Bonnie. Okay, as much as I hate this, FNaF AR is canon. It exists in the same continuity as Help Wanted and Security Breach. Deal with it. You can't have your cake and eat it. You gotta pick one, alright? You gotta have your cake and eat it is what I'm saying. Like, they are deeply connected. Now, William Afton designing for himself, yes, although I definitely think there's more to it. No specifics given. Honestly, yeah, I feel like Remnant has just become a vague plot device. I think there was a clear idea for what it was at first, but it's just become more confusing because different things have all been referred to as Remnant. The soul juice, the essence of a ghost, has been referred to as Remnant. But metal that is infused with emotional energy, that is haunted metal, has also been referred to as Remnant. So it's a bit confusing, bit contradictory. I think the absolute worst offense is Special Delivery. So Remnant being able to, keep a person from dying, obviously, yep, that's confirmed by Michael. The scooper and everything, we know that from Sister Location. Exposed to high temperatures, meaning it loses its properties. We know that from Pizza Sim. That's all confirmed. That tracks with the novels. But the types of Remnant seen in Special Delivery, all the different colours, and then there's Shadow Remnant associated with Shadow Bonnie. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that different writers didn't communicate with each other, or Scott Cawthon was just kind of improvising, because conceptually, the Remnant from FNaF AR would make more sense to be emotional energy. Forget the mechanics of how you collect it in-game and all the nonsense with that, because it just doesn't make any sense. But Shadow Remnant is surely just agony, right? I mean, there's a Fazbear Fright story featuring Shadow Bonnie. I forget the name. It's in Volume 7. It's the third story. It's, I forget the one, but it's about the angry kid with the arcade games. The Shadow Remnant in FNaF AR is used to make Shadow Bonnie, the exact same character from that story that is, heavily implied to be made of agony. I think the Remnant in FNaF AR is just emotional energy, and Scott Cawthon hadn't ironed out the idea yet. Given how much people hate this game and ignore it, I don't think it would be a problem to make an exception. It's also in a different universe. But, because the Remnant in every other appearance, in the books, in, novels, frights, in the games, it's a liquid metal. It's a molten, mercurial, shiny chrome metal. And it's infused with souls, infused with emotional energy. Remnant itself might be the substance, or it might actually be the kind of, hauntingness without the metal, but it makes more sense to me to kind of differentiate. Again, maybe it operates differently in different universes, but I think this is mostly correct. Like, it makes it pretty clear. It can be used to bring people back from the dead because their souls can haunt, inanimate bodies, with said Remnant. Alright, let's move on. Springlock suits, another classic. Okay, so suits used by both Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and Fredbear's Family Diner. They double as both a wearable suit and a normal animatronic. A hand crank device is to be inserted into a slot and turned firmly to call the Springlocks into their designated suit position and pull the endoskeleton to the sides of the costume, making it wearable. However, the Springlocks are very fragile, and any sudden movement, moisture, or heavy breathing, will cause them to turn loose and make said endoskeleton recoil instantly to the inside of the suit, essentially crushing and impaling the person inside and causing a slow and agonizing death. Multiple Springlock failures caused the suit to be decommissioned and never used again. Although William Afton still used a Spring Bonnie costume of the sort to lure and murder the children during the missing children incident. This is basically everything we get from the FNaF 3 tapes. Like, some of these phrases are copy-pasted from what Phone Guy says in FNaF 3. Excuse me. I think Springlock suits are pretty clear-cut. They are explained in a lot of detail in FNaF 3 and have been consistent and realistic in every appearance. Springlock suits are way cooler than Remnant or Illusion Discs. They are consistent, they are realistic, and The only thing I would add to this is that in the Silver Eyes, Dave actually gives us a detailed explanation of what happens. When the spring locks go off, first the locks open, okay, when they get loose. Then you get pinpricked all over by little knives. That's the spring locks themselves. Then they release the kind of, and this is all within seconds, then they release the, compressed animatronic parts, and you're crushed to death, and that's what kills you. And the thing is, you will bleed out. You will not die immediately. It will take you a few minutes to die, because it doesn't immediately kill you. You will bleed out and lose all of your internal organs. And William would know. Honestly, I find it really weird that in the novels, just random side tangent from it, I find it really weird that in the Silver Eyes, it's implied that William was spring-locked, because he has all the scars. And it's implied that he is Ennard because he behaves like an animatronic, like when, the head is put on, like he only talks when the head's put on, and he's like, I am one of them. It's really weird. Like, it's implied that he's Ennard. And then they just never did anything with that, and he's just kind of a human being for the rest of the story. It's really weird. It's like, why would you have William secretly be a robot? All of the, clues were there in Silver Eyes, and they just kind of ditched it. Would have been much better than Charlie being a fucking android. Anyway, last but not least, the animatronics, the main attraction. The animatronics are the main attraction of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Fredbear's Family Diner, and Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. Most of the animatronics in this series are possessed by the souls of dead children, victims of William Afton, thus making them aggressive towards adults, specifically night guards. There are various sets of animatronics shown throughout the series, almost all of them being murderous either intentionally or unintentionally, with the first ones ever being Fredbear, a golden bear, and Spring Bonnie, a golden rabbit. The robots are shown to be extremely advanced for their time, even being able to walk around, interact with guests, and, in the case of the fun times, lure and kidnap children. Although their advanced mobility seems to be, at least with the classics and wizards, a result of their ghostly possession, rather than being simply highly advanced technologically. Man, that is a lot of words. Okay, first of all, I want to commend the image choices so far. They've actually been really, really nice image choices. And secondly, this is spot on. This is nice, this is simple. Everything said here is basically confirmed fact. I don't disagree with any of it. So that's the basic concepts, alright? That's the basic concepts. I'm just going to leave it there for a second, and I'm going to respond to chat. So what do we have to say in response to all of this? But yes. OP wasn't lying when they said I'm biased, and I appreciate that, for real. Bro started bullying him for existing, honestly. Also, CHXO, Hydration Nation, yes, hello! If you haven't joined the Hydration Nation, guys, links in the description on the banner. I'll talk more about it later in the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your time. No, I shall stay dehydrated. Your loss. Your loss, Silver. If you're going to stay dehydrated, your loss. But yes. Cranella, Lucy. Yeah. I think, I guess, never 100% confirmed. I think there's a lot of things which aren't 100% confirmed, to be fair. But yeah, alright. When the hell did FNaF World's flipside get important in the main FNaF lore? I don't understand. I just call it that. It just makes sense. The kind of concept of the flipside as it's presented in FNaF World kind of matches what we've seen with Happiest Day and The Fourth Closet and Fazbear Frights. I just call it the flipside. That's not a canon name. But yes, I always thought of agony as the inflicted violence and energy that ultimately binds Remnant. I guess, right? Because it's emotions that make memories more powerful. And those memories are what makes the spirit a, physical living entity that doesn't just dissipate and pass on into whatever afterlife or non-existence follows death normally. I think there's I think it's very complicated, but I think what I just said there, that is probably the best explanation of agony and Remnant that I've ever heard. I think you're absolutely right, Lucy. Silver, you're killing me. You're killing me with this dehydration. Oh. You're impressed at how unbiased it is? I mean, this got pinned by Reddit mods, and it's been there for years, so... yes, absolutely. Joke responsibly, lads. Yeah. But yeah, there's also Phone Dude. Well, it's not going to be perfectly unbiased. I don't think it's possible to be perfectly unbiased, but What did you disagree with, Lucy? They never did come back in full strength unless you actually count in security breach, which I fear this person might have done. Yeah, Fazbear Entertainments. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that just yet. Mac, I am not the masochist. This is going to sound very cruel and evil. Yeah, it does. You would love to hear me get mad and depressed over security breach lore 1 year later and hear what you think of the new tech in Ruin. Okay, first things first. I have not seen Ruin. I have not played Ruin. I have no interest in Ruin. I know nothing about it. I haven't even seen the trailer. There was a trailer, apparently. I don't know. I don't care. I know that, like, the Glamrocks are withered now. Like, who gives a shit? And also, hasn't it been 2 years now? It was December 21. It's been, like, a year and a half. Remnant is the midichlorian of FNaF. Silver, that is absolutely spot on. I think not enough people recognize the similarities that FNaF actually has with Star Wars. I think there's actually quite a few. My mate Ethan, True Player, the guy who does all the footage for this channel, link in the description, probably, if not this in the other videos. True Player has talked to me about this at length. Like, there are some similarities between FNaF and Star Wars. But yes. But yeah, it's generally unsafe in concept. Also, no. Springlocks were never intentionally designed to kill people. I can see William using them to kill people on purpose. Circus Baby in Night 4 of Sister Location implies that this was done at Circus Baby's Pizza World. She says, I don't think it was used, at least not the way it was meant to be used. And the Springlock suit from Night 4, I'm pretty sure is Funtime Chica. So that might actually be Chica's Party World. Deep lore. Not going to get into it now, but no. The Springlock suits are great because it's an example of negligence, of how, you know, a lack of oversight, moderation, regulation, and kind of attentiveness can lead to disaster. It's not intentionally evil or murderous. That would be silly. GDPIX and Moichiwu? Is that Moichiro? Did he change his username? Thank you for joining the stream. Welcome. I haven't delved into the FNaF lore for years. I feel I'm going to lose several brain cells. Donnie, we're all here for the journey together. If we all share our brain cells, if you hand over your brain cell power to me, I will be the mind controller. I will solve the FNaF lore, guys. I'll totally do it. It'll be real, trust me. But this is the thing. I think, well, there's so many different AUs. It's hard to have an exact lore for the main timeline. I'll talk about that later. But yes, just gonna ignore Matt casually advertising the Hydration Nation. Thank you, my dude. You know what? I'm gonna pin that since the current pinned message is irrelevant. Oh, I need to go do that over here because I'm actually logged in on my other account. I also just realized how quiet it is. You guys are just listening to my voice. There's no background music or anything. Again, this is going to be a fairly bare bones stream. If I do more of these in future, it'll be a bit more polished, and I think there are people who can confirm that in chat. But yeah, this is not going to be like a super polished, clean live stream. Again, this channel, I wasn't going to reuse my setup from my other channel, so I just thought I'd make a quick one. So yeah, forgive the lack of music, but hey, if you want to put on your own music, you can listen to whatever you want to instead of what I choose now, if you want something else in addition to my voice. Maybe it's just me, I'm a music listener. But yes, excellent people, exclusive content, competitions, and notifications for continuity and more. Thank you, my dude. It's true, it really is true. So you don't know that they introduced technology that allows you to no-clip through literal reality? Aw, damn. What? I don't even have a strong reaction to that. I'm just thinking, like, when are they going to have the plot twist that Security Breach is also just a game in universe? I'm expecting that in Help Wanted 2, honestly. Help Wanted 2, what a joke. What a sick joke! What was I thinking? What? I don't even understand what you're saying. But yeah, Funtime Chica wasn't in Sister Location. I think she was hidden in plain sight. I think she is the Springlock suit in the scooping room. Brain cell tax, yeah. You have to pay the brain cell tax for the stream. Guys, I'm not monetized. This channel's not monetized. You gotta pay up the brain cell tax. Come on, give me... Otherwise, I know people would be tipping me, but honestly, I don't want your money. I want your brain cells. Let's move on, guys. I'll come back to chat in a bit. We're now going to look at games and books. So, first of all, we have a very strange order here, but I'm just going to roll with it. We have non-canon games. Alright. Released in 2016, FNaF World is an RPG featuring characters from FNaF 1 to FNaF 4, and a cutesy fantasy-like world to explore. The game does not seem to be canon by itself, though some of the events that happen in it are implied to affect the main universe and the lore. Two bright yellow eyes tell the player to leave breadcrumbs for him, hinting to a secret ending where clocks are collected throughout the game, mini-games that loosely reflect the ones from FNaF 3 are played. World's Update 2 ending features a sad man on a desk hinting at something he created being dangerous, only for him to be killed by Baby from Sister Location. Notice the wording. They don't say that he's killed by Baby, or that the dangerous thing is Baby. This very much gives you the facts and recalls the information without presuming any theories or information. I don't think FNaF World is canon at all. I think it was, and then Sister Location kind of, deleted it from canon. And UCN kind of went further with that. I don't know. I agree with this. I think this is absolutely fair. Freddy in Space 2, released in 2019 for Game Theory St. Jude's charity livestream. Freddy in Space 2 seems to be completely non-canon. Its story features Freddy Fazbear traveling through space while rescuing other animatronics and his own son, and defeating the nefarious LOL's hacks. The game has no relation to the lore, and features its own universe, its own characters, and its own plot. That is absolutely true. That is a fact. I only played this game once on the night in 2019, but yeah, it's based for that. Can we just mention, by the way, how Fury's Rage is so god-awful, it's not even mentioned? Oh, wait, no! This was made in 2020! This was made before that existed, otherwise it would probably be here. Survival Logbook. The Survival Logbook is a book released in 2017. It mainly contains simple activities for readers to do, but its pages seem to hide secrets that possibly relate to canon lore, specifically faded messages and doodles from the book's previous owner, Mike. The name Cassidy appears in a word search alongside various It's Me messages, making some believe whoever Cassidy is related to Golden Freddy. Some of the messages also seem to speak directly to the reader or Mike, asking various questions about their past. Again, treading lightly, picking out the exact facts only, no presumptions. Not even saying that Cassidy is Golden Freddy, just that they're related. I will say this is based for not including Evan. Evan is a complete misinterpretation. There is no Evan in the games. There is no proof. I will get into this later if you want to ask me about that. It's actually really stupid. Yeah, fair play. Cassidy does seem to be Golden Freddy's name. Alright, let's have a look. So, original trilogy. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is an old, decaying restaurant. Well, this is FNaF 1, by the way. So, FNaF 1. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is an old, decaying restaurant featuring animatronic characters that entertain children on a daily basis. It is revealed that several incidents have tainted the franchise's history, most notably the Bite of 87, where an animatronic attacked a person and the damage resulted in the loss of their frontal lobe, and the Missing Children's incident, where 5 children were lured by a man in a mascot costume, presumably murdered, their bodies were never found, and stuffed inside the animatronics. That's basically the entire story of FNaF 1. Nice and simple, they got it. FNaF 2. A prequel to FNaF 1, it reveals more details about the Missing Children's incident. The killer is a man named Purple Guy, and he has already made a victim before the first set of 5. The first victim possesses the puppet, and it was the one who gave life to the dead children by making them possess the animatronic suits. The restaurant where the MCI took place shut down, resulting in a new one featuring the toy animatronics to be opened in 1987. It was short-lived, however, as another set of dead children caused an investigation to occur, forcing the new restaurant to also shut down. The Bite of 87 also occurs around roughly the same time. So, that is again spot on. Pretty much only including the confirmed information. It doesn't mention Fredbear's and that the puppet was murdered at Fredbear's, because some have actually argued that Charlotte's murder was actually at Freddy's. But either way, everything about that is spot on. It does say at Best Buy that it's a prequel. It includes all the relevant information. It's nice and concise. No problems. So, FNaF 3. It is revealed that after Freddy's had closed down for good, Purple Guy went back to the abandoned pizzeria from FNaF 1 and dismantled the animatronics, only to be terrorized by the children's souls there. He hid inside an old Spring Bonnie suit, but the spring locks inside failed and he was crushed inside, ultimately dying in the same suit he used to lure and kill the children. 30 years later, a horror attraction based on the urban legends around Freddy's was set to open soon, which made its founders find the old and decayed Spring Bonnie suit. They brought him to the attraction where Springtrap, now possessed by the purple guy, tried to kill the night guard before the entire building caught fire due to most likely faulty wiring. The surviving objects were sold in auction, with Springtrap having possibly escaped. Again, pretty much summing up the concrete facts from the game, no presumptions about who we play as or anything like that. Just kind of Springtrap and Fazbear's Fright. Perfectly fine. Good-o. Concluded all the important details. Didn't mention the endings, which is interesting, but I guess it'll get into that with the timeline. Alright. So the new trilogy. I know it's weird to think of FNaF 4 as a trilogy, but honestly, even though it was produced with the set of 1 to 3, it makes more sense grouped with these two, I think, story-wise. So, FNaF 4. A prequel to FNaF 1 and 2. It tells the story of a boy who was constantly bullied and mentally tortured by his older brother for his fear of animatronics at the nearby Fredbear's family diner. The boy spent 5 days leading to his birthday party... Spent 5 days leading up to his birthday party in fear of what would happen and terrorized of his brother and employees dressed as the mascots. Bad phrasing. During the party, the brother and his friends decided to pull a prank on him and carried him towards Fredbear, putting him inside the animatronic's mouth, only for it to crush his skull and result in the boy dying from his injuries. The boy's Fredbear plush tells him he'll put him back together before his death. The entire event was known as the Bite of 83, unrelated to the 1987 incident. That is a description of FNaF 4's story, and it doesn't even mention the gameplay. It doesn't even make any reference to the gameplay. That's how bloody vague this game is. So yeah, it's absolutely right. There's a boy, bullied by an older brother, mentally tortured, 5 days leading up to his birthday party, and then during the party, his friends pull a prank on him, and put him in Fredbear's mouth, only for it to crush his skull and result in the boy dying of his injuries. The Fredbear plush tells him to put him back together. Technically, that's a theory. The text is actually a different colour, so even that is not confirmable. The entire incident being known as the Bite of 83 is just, I guess, again, everything there I think is confirmable except Fredbear plush being the one who says it, because the text font colour is different, but it's weird. It's misleading. It's a very confusing game that never got clarified. Anyway, FNaF sister location. Circus Baby's Pizza World is a new animatronic rental company owned by William Afton, revealed to be Purple Guy. William had created Funtime animatronics with the sole purpose of kidnapping and killing children, and the establishment was a cover-up for the character's goal. Elizabeth Afton, William's daughter, is killed by Baby, the main animatronic in the restaurant, causing William to shut the place down, cover the incident up, open another underground establishment called Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental, and send his other son, Michael Afton, down into the bunker-like facility and put Elizabeth back together. Michael is deceived by Elizabeth, who uses a tool named the Scooper to scoop out her brother's insides and climb inside as an endoskeleton amalgamation called Ennard, assuming Michael's identity and escaping the building. After a while, Michael's body rots and Ennard abandons him. Michael doesn't die, however, and continues living as a purple, rotten corpse. Yeah, pretty much a perfect summary of the sister location story. It explains William, Purple Guy, the two babies' locations, Elizabeth becoming Baby, and Michael's journey throughout the game. Obviously, it sourced things like teasers and source code as well as the main game, because a lot of this is unclear. But yeah, it includes all the right details, all the right emphasis, and I don't think there's anything there which is kind of, you know, unconfirmed. Like, this is pretty much confirmed fact, all of this. I'm happy with this. Alright. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Henry, who was once William's partner, decides to end it all and reopens a Freddy's establishment as bait for William, Elizabeth, and his daughter, who is revealed to be William's first victim, the puppet. To set up the trap and make it convincing enough, he hires Michael Afton, at this point looking for his father. The trap works, and William, now simply called Afton, Elizabeth, now separate from Ennard and having built a new body for herself, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, what is left of Ennard after Elizabeth had been ejected from it, and Lefty, a black animatronic bear built by Henry to find and secure the puppet and bring it into the pizzeria, all arrive in the fake establishment. Henry reveals his plan to everyone in the building and proceeds to set it ablaze, effectively ending all of their lives and Freddy's legacy once and for all. How dare you? How fucking dare you? Oh, so he thought. Go fuck yourself. Aside from that last line in brackets, I mean, yeah, it explains all the characters, which is very important. It's a very character-driven game. And it explains, you know, the sequence of events. There's very little in the way of sequence of events. There's just loads of characters with their own backstories. Yeah, I mean, I hate this, but other than that, I'm happy with that. I think all of this is fair enough. So let's move over now to the extended universe. Help Wanted. Fazbear Entertainment, the original owners of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. It's Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, actually. And it was Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place in Pizza Sim, which was not a real location. The last real location was FNaF 1. They return inexplicably and hire an indie developer to make games and spread rumours about them based on the real tragedies from long ago and to stain their reputation, only for them to make an entire VR game themselves to refute the rumours and clean their reputation, this way gathering attention for themselves once more. The game scans circuit boards from original Freddy's animatronics to make them easier to program in-game, and one of these boards had belonged to Afton, thus making him able to enter the game and influence its beta testers directly. Jeremy, one of the testers, ultimately cut his own face off, while Vanny, another tester, is successfully turned by Afton, becoming his follower and continuing his legacy from where he left off before dying to Henry. There are so many issues with this. I don't think I'm even going to get into it. I'm just going to write this off. If you guys want to go into my issues with the lore here, not only is the majority of this speculative theories, it's not even the fault of the writer. They are working with what they got, because this game's lore is so dog shit that it is, like, completely incoherent. I played the game, I watched the game back when the game released. I'm pretty sure some of this is just flat out wrong. Some of it's misinterpreted. Some of it was probably right and then was retconned with security breach, or maybe vice versa. I have no idea, but this is god-awful. Special delivery. Fazbear Entertainment opens a mobile service called Fazbear Delivery Service where, upon subscription, the user would receive recreations of the old Freddy's animatronics on their doorstep. Something, or someone, however, has messed with the recreations programming to the despair of the employees involved, making them act violent and aggressive towards people. I'm not gonna lie, that actually makes Special Delivery sound like it's got a good story. It doesn't, but like, that is a more satisfying and believable narrative than Help Wanted. It's a nice simple spin-off that feels like it could actually be real in the FNaF universe. Maybe even in the same world as FNaF 1. But, like, Help Wanted is just nonsense. Special Delivery legitimately has better lore than Help Wanted. I can't believe I'm saying this, but just reading them side by side now. Tell me that the Help Wanted lore is better than Special Delivery. Like, actually, look at this. Special Delivery is just like, there's this iteration of Fazbear Entertainment. They have a delivery service now, but the animatronics been messed with. They're all like recreations as AI. It's a nice spin on FNaF. It doesn't need to be canon. Help Wanted is just nonsense. It's just absurd, convoluted nonsense. Last but not least, we've got FNaF 2020. Fazbear Entertainment supposedly opens a large building, bigger in scale than all of its previous establishments, with a mall-like structure and various different areas, including an arcade and a cinema, featuring new glam rock animatronics. Vanny, influenced by William, somehow discovers the location of the restaurant, heavily implying a future tragedy of her own doing. Man, that aged well, didn't it? That aged so well. Oh, there's even more. Excuse me? Ultimate Custom Night is dubious canon, but Help Wanted is extended universe? What the actual fuck? Who has ever said that Ultimate Custom Night is dubious canon? What? Ultimate Custom Night is more canon than anything else on screen right now. Anyway. Okay. Ultimate Custom Night. A certain one you shouldn't have killed, who is widely presumed to be Golden Freddy, constantly tortures the player character in a self-made realm of sorts. The player has obviously killed the one, and he is now seeking revenge for it. No less than 50 animatronics are used to torment the player, some of which directly reference the one, and how it holds a deep grudge against the player, and how he is never going to let them leave or rest under his watch. The entire game's canonicity is, however, dubious at the very least. Wrong! That is the first thing on here that I have to say wrong. Flat out wrong, and it is your fault. Because this isn't something that has, you know, like Help Wanted, been endorsed by Scott and kind of made worse by him. That is just wrong. Ultimate Custom Night is an essential part of the canon. Do I need to make a video on this? I was literally saying this in private the other day. Without Ultimate Custom Night, I would not be that interested in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. This double trilogy is great, but it is incomplete without Ultimate Custom Night. This thing seals the deal with Golden Freddy throughout all of the games. It actually sheds more light on FNaF 4, Sister Location, Pizza Sierra, pretty much everything. This game is, like, one of the most important games, lore-wise. It is what the ultimate end, the ultimate fate is for everyone. We find out that after the fire, William Afton is being kept in a hellish purgatory by Golden Freddy for murdering him. That is made very clear. That is not up for debate. We might play as Michael additionally, but that's a little thing we don't need to mention. There's been a lot of examples of this already. You play as William. Golden Freddy's torturing you in purgatory in, you know, the flip side, or the Void. It's called Void, the final cutscene. During/after the fire. Everyone's soul's been freed. But I think, like, the remnant of the animatronics is left, so everyone can still, like, talk to William. It's very weird, but it doesn't matter, because in the ultimate end of the Ultimate Custom Night, Old Man Consequences is the one who says to Cassidy, or Golden Freddy, whatever, leave the demon to his demons, rest your own soul, there is nothing else. And then they just, free their own soul, they let go of their anger, and by ceasing to harness that emotional energy, their soul is no longer bound to Earth or the Void or whatever, and everyone is truly set free, including William. Because the game crashes. That's what that symbolizes. This is ridiculous. You put UCN in dubious canon, but you put the FNAF AR Remnant image there for Remnant as a concept. The inconsistency is just ridiculous. Alright, let's finish this off. Book canon. The Silver Eyes, the Twisted Ones, and the Fourth Closet are all part of the same canon, the book canon. They tell the story of Charlie and her childhood friends going back to the hometown of Hurricane Utah, which causes a cascade of events ranging from a close encounter with the possessed animatronics to finding out Charlie's past is not what it seems, and hides a secret far beyond their understanding. Although the books reference various elements in the game, such as the missing children incident and Circus Babies Pizza World, they are not canons in the main universe. Scott himself clarified during an interview that they shouldn't be used to solve the main game's lore, and all their events are limited to their own world, separate from the main series. Only a few things are the same between both canons, maybe names and concepts, nothing else. Okay, well this is wrong again, but it's mostly just the phrasing. They're not a separate canon, they are a separate continuity within the same canon. Nobody gets this. Nobody understands this. I am going to explain this in detail later. It's one of the major points, the talking points I'm going to timestamp. So don't worry if you miss it. It will be timestamped. It will be clipped. But, like, it's the same canon. It's a different continuity. There's a little more that they share in addition to names and concepts. They share characters as well as names, although there are differences, definitely. They do share concepts. They also share events. They share plot points. It's not that the plot points are the same in both, but, like, the missing children's incident is a plot point. That doesn't fit that doesn't fit either name or concept. And Scott did not clarify during an interview that they shouldn't be used to solve the main game's lore. He did not say that in the interview with Dorco in 2018. He said that he actually said on multiple occasions in Steam posts for the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 page in 2015, late 2015. I don't remember the exact dates, but get your info right. I don't think they talked about the books in the Dorco interview. I could be wrong. They might talk about the books, but him saying they shouldn't be so used to solve the main game's lore, he said that on Steam in 2015. That was before Silver Eyes even released. Once again, another thing that a lot of FNAFs have forgotten, which I'll talk about. Okay. Whew, breathe out. That's the games and books. Alright, we'll be getting onto the basic timeline soon. Alright, so let's just catch up with chat again. What do we think so far? But yes, I don't know what this is about no clipping. Freddy in Space 2 is canon, by the way. You can see a lol text cut out in Phaser Blast and SB. Classic security breach, referencing literally everything to try and shoehorn it in, you know, fan service. Disgusting. Yeah, honestly, Freddy in Space 2 existing as an in-universe arcade game in any of the Freddy's locations, I'm cool with. That would actually be really cool. I have no problem with that. But, you know, they got the Fazbear Frights cats in there and everything. I know how it is. It seems like Cassie is being retconned. Duckman, do not believe she? I thought Cassidy was a boy. She? To be fair, there's a lot of confusion about Golden Freddy's identity, and I don't have a concrete theory on it. Because there's the question of, okay, is Cassidy the name of the FNaF 4 bite victim, or is it the name of one of the 5 missing children? Is Cassidy Golden Freddy? Is there one soul or is it 2? It's like, which is which? But it's like Cassidy being retconned out of existence. At this point, I don't even care. Golden Freddy is just, you know, frustrating, poorly written. I think you got a headcanon, Golden Freddy. Springtrap isn't possessed by Afton, though. You can still hear his heartbeat in the Pizza Sim salvage, so the dude is still alive. No, fuck off with that. That's such a dumb idea. It doesn't make any sense. It contradicts what everything we see in FNaF 3, and it doesn't align, you know, with... I guess it aligns with the novels. Because he survives that spring locking. But the games are different. He doesn't survive. He's dead. He's undead. They all are. That's just silly. I don't think it's a heartbeat. I think it could be, like, anything. Like, they make a lot of weird sounds, which I am still yet to hear in-game. I think I did actually hear a sound in the mobile port, but I've never heard the sounds on PC, not even with loudness EQ. I don't know. But, like, I don't understand how that could be a heartbeat. It's just... It's weird. It contradicts what we already know about Springtrap. It's stupid. Anyway, oh man. Chaotic Silver, I get that sometimes where your messages won't send. Duncan has a lot of problems with that, poor guy. Henry doesn't hire Michael. Michael bought the restaurant which Henry puts on sale, right? Yeah, I think the implications are incorrect for Pizza Sim. Henry doesn't know... for sure that it's Michael. He suspects that it's Michael after seeing him succeed. But Michael buys the franchise package, which Henry has just kind of put on sale. Yeah, franchisee. The two of them never meet face to face. I love Help Wanted's gameplay. I don't care about FNaF lore. If game is fun, game is good. Platty, this stream is not for you. Okay. Yes, FNaF 2020, released in 2022. It was actually released in 2021, December 16th. But yeah, pretty much. I don't think it was functional until 2022, about 6 months later. But yeah, Melissa Hopkins, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Kanyad Toe, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thanks for tuning in, my dude. You're a FNaF lore expert. I'll believe it when I see it. No offense. I wouldn't consider myself an expert, and I've been doing this crap for a long time. Lost me with UCN for real, honestly though. But yeah, I think I'm starting to understand why I never tried to understand everything in this franchise a lot. I'm going to keep going at it on this stream though. Donnie, your support is appreciated. I can try and explain things myself, but I'm sure that I have my own biases. You know, guys, I think FNaF 1, dubious canon, because FNaF 1 shows, wow, I did not realize I'd be able to zoom in this much. In FNaF 1, Fazbear Entertainment shuts down, and Fazbear Entertainment is still around in Help Wanted. So actually, I think FNaF 1 isn't canon anymore, guys. I think Security Breach overwrote FNaF 1, because they can't exist in the same universe. So FNaF 1's not canon. Honestly, I'm waiting for people to start saying that unironically. I'm waiting for it, because it's got to have happened by now, or soon. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, Jacques the Dog Lover, JDTL. Love the usernames, guys. Don't worry, I'm basically just reviewing and reading through this document. We're now going to look at the basic timeline of events that Bonfim BR has made for us here. Very nice. I'll do it like that, because I don't want to zoom out too much. Anyway, yeah, Platy gave his lore-carrying brain cells for his brain cell tax. Don't judge him for the bad lore opinions. Yeah, you're right. Platy paid the tax. Platy is carrying the stream with his brain cells, actually, guys. We should all be thanking Platy very kindly. Say thank you, Platy. Alright. Anyway, Kanyito, I don't know if you're saying that as a joke. Guys, I'm a FNaF Lore expert. Did you know in FNaF 1 you actually play as Michael? No! Ain't no way! Okay, well, I'll read chat again when I finish with the timeline. So here we go. The timeline they're presenting here is late 70s, presumably. Fredbear's Family Diner opens featuring only two simple mascots, Fredbear and Spray Bonnie. Correct! Good image choice. Late 70s is exactly it. 1973, or maybe a bit later, because it's a long gap of time for nothing to happen. Phone guy says 20 years. He might have been rounding up. It might have been like 1975 or 6. Early 80s. The first Freddy's location opens. Henry's daughter is murdered by William Afton and possesses the puppet. Absolutely. There's definitely more that happens in between, like with William's motivation. But in terms of actual concrete, timeline placements that we can all agree on, yes. Early 80s, first Freddy's opening after or before. It keeps it vague. Because some people are arguing that Take Cake to the Children happens at Freddy's. I always thought it was Fredbear's. It makes more sense that way. But the sprite is Freddy, not Fredbear. It's weird. But I guess it just kind of lists the two together, so that's fine. I will accept that. Early 80s, presumably, William uses a spring Bonnie suit to lure and murder 5 children either all at once or at different points in time. The puppet gives the dead kids life and they possess the animatronics in the pizzeria. The restaurant shuts down. All of this is spot on and correct and tracks with what we see in the games. They are not murdered all at once. We know this for a fact. In Five Nights at Freddy's 1, the newspapers lay out 2 children lured to back room one evening. 5 children now associated with disappearances. Disappearances plural. It's gradual. It takes place over the course of the week of June 26th. 1983. The bite of 83 occurs, resulting in the death of the bite victim and the closing of Fredbear's Family Diner. Strange as it is, this is correctly placed. This is after the missing children's incident. This is after... The thing that doesn't make sense to me is that FNaF 3 implies that the Springlock suits were decommissioned and then the missing children's incident happens because William uses the Spring Bonnie suit when it's banned. But we see them in full use in 1983. It doesn't make any sense the other way around either. Maybe that's the retcon. I don't know. Sorry. Excuse me. But, yeah. I see you, Donnie. Then we've got 1987. Freddy's reopens featuring the toy animatronics. William strikes again and kills 5 more children. An investigation happens because of it and the restaurant is closed down once more. The toys are scrapped. The bite of 87 happens, damaging the company's reputation even more. Again, they're not listed in a strict order. It's kept vague, smart, but all the correct information is there. We see Freddy's reopens. We know about the toy animatronics. It's being scrapped because of the newspaper. The dead children's incident is shown in Save Them. And the company's reputation is super damaged by this point. Then we've got the early 90s. I'm pretty sure at this point this is confirmed to be November 1993, but whatever. Freddy's reopens once again, although in a large state of disrepair. Due to the lack of customers and sanitary conditions, the restaurant shuts down. William returns and destroys the animatronics, but the children's souls make him hide inside his old Spring Bonnie suit. It ultimately kills him. This is spot on. Follow Me happens after FNaF 1. Some people don't get this, but it is after FNaF 1. That is like late 90s. The place was already so run down. That could just be a few months later, honestly, given how disrepaired it was. It would have probably decayed very quickly. But yeah, and that describes exactly what we see perfectly. Now this is interesting. Here we have unknown time period. Events that could have occurred at any point between Freddy's first opening and Fazbear Fright's opening. William builds the Funtime animatronics himself with the purpose of kidnapping and killing children. Circus Baby's Pizza World opens to fulfill that goal, but his daughter Elizabeth is murdered by Baby. The restaurant shuts down, causing William to cover up the incident and open another facility deep underground called Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. He sends Michael Afton, his son, down to put Elizabeth back together, but she tricks Michael and, possessing an amalgamation of wires called Ennard, uses the scooper to scoop out his insides and use him as a disguise and escape the establishment. Eventually, Michael's body rots, forcing Elizabeth to leave her host. Michael does not die and continues living as a purple corpse. Ennard ejects Elizabeth from itself later, with each going their separate ways. Perfect summary of the entire Sister Location story. All the right details with the Aftons. Slight issue. No. The timeline placement? I mean, if you saw my video earlier, you'll know. But, these could not have occurred at any point. The absolute earliest that these events could have started is after the missing children's incident. And the absolute latest that these events could have finished is before Five Nights at Freddy's 1. But I think if you look at my video, I go into more detail. Sister Locations in the 80s. It's before FNaF 2, it's after FNaF 4, but there's a couple exceptions to that. Watch my video on it for more info. Alright. Oh no. Early 2020s. Fazbear's Fright is set to open soon, causing its managers to discover the old Spring Bonnie suit, now possessed by William. The animatronic, now named Springtrap, tries to kill the attraction's night guard for roughly a week before the building catches on fire and destroys almost everything inside. Springtrap survives. Yeah. Good summary. Unknown time period at any point after William was killed by the Spring Bonnie suit. The souls of the missing children possessing Freddy, Bonnie, Chica Foxy, Golden Freddy, and the puppet are finally freed from the animatronics and the living world, never to be seen or heard from again in their happiest day. I like that this is ambiguous, actually, because this could be immediately after... This could be as Fazbear's Fright is burning down, or this could be in Pizza Sim. This could be either at the end of FNaF 3 or the end of Pizza Sim. In completion, I don't know. Mid-2020s, presumably. Henry sets up a trap for the remaining rogue animatronics in the form of a fake pizzeria to attract the child-killing robots. Afton, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, and Lefty, carrying the puppet inside, fall for it, and are all burned in a fire set up by Henry. Michael is also present and supposedly dies in the Inferno as well. This, perfect. I feel like you could narrow down Sister Location's placement a bit, but aside from that, all of this, perfect. I have no issue with any of this. This, meanwhile, what the hell is going on here? I love how there's absolutely no connection. Like, there's a clear break here because, like, there's nothing connected. And it's also just because of this. Mid-2020s, presumably. Fazbear Entertainment returns and hires the indie developer to tarnish their reputation. Over them to make a VR game, refute the claims. After the scan, the other build the game, managed to influence Jeremy, although he cuts his own face off before they could do anything to him. And Vanny, who becomes his follower and swears to continue his legacy where he left off. They open delivery service for reasons unknown. Recreations become rogue, start acting violently due to a strange virus that had entered the system and reprogrammed them. Further info to be added. Nut. And then we've got late 2020s. Fazbear Entertainment builds a bigger scale building featuring glamrock animatronics. Vanny finds out about it and with Afton's guidance preparing to continue his legacy, stating that it will be fun. Yeah, I don't care for any of this. There are no confirmed dates. These things could be happening in the 80s or the 2080s, honestly. I always thought the VR game was set in 2019 because of like the whole kind of blurring the lines between reality and stuff. But now I'm like, I don't know, man. These could be happening whenever. Unknown time period. Events happen at any point after Henry burns the pizzeria down. Not confirmed to be canon. Stupid. I don't know what this guy has against UCN. Like, what do they have against UCN? UCN is so clearly tied into Pizza Sim and the other games. Like, it's part of the set. It was originally planned to be an update DLC within Pizza Sim. Like, that's how closely entwined in the lore it is. A rogue spirit traps the player character in a self-made realm for having killed him long ago. 50 plus animatronics are sent out to tease, kill, and torture the player under the reasoning that they shouldn't have killed the one who was in control of the entire place. His revenge lasts for an unknown amount of time, implied to be forever. You know what? Let me rewrite this timeline, okay? Let me fix it. Very simple, very easy fixes. Most of this, honestly, really good, really impressive. Most of this is spot on. Okay, sister location. Take this line, drag it up to here, okay? Take this line, drag it up to here, alright? Put Ultimate Custom Night in its rightful place in the middle here, alright? And have it be like, you know, Golden Freddy tortures William for all eternity. And then just list all of these games as unconfirmed, dubious canonicity, strange dreams, which are likely a part of Golden Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night Torture Void. All of this is just weird dreams William is having within the purgatory created by Golden Freddy to torture him. That's all they are. It makes a hell of a lot more sense than anything we've gotten in the last 4 years. Alright. Any questions? How are we all doing? I think you used to call me a Glotch or something. I don't remember, dude. I'm just gonna call you JT. Jack. Jack? Yeah. Jack is in French. Jacques. There's 6 pools of blood in the 1987 DCI. 6 pools. That is correct. And that is a weird detail. I don't think that necessarily means there were 6 murders. But, because there are 5 bodies. There are 6 pools of blood, but there are 5 visible bodies. But it might have been that Cawthon did acknowledge JJ back then and planned for Toy Freddy, Bonnie Chica, Balloon Boy, Mangle, and JJ all to be possessed by kids. Now that we've got the whole Mangle is the dog thing, which I'm on board with, it's more of a headcanon, but I'm on board with it. I think JJ is the 5th DCI victim. I think the 6th pool of blood could just be a red herring. He's done that kind of thing before. Or maybe there's a 6th body that's hidden, and it does indeed possess JJ or Mangle or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't think it's that important, but good thing to bring up. Very interesting. Oh, you meant glitch. Alright, mate, what do you want to be referred to? Because I usually just read off usernames, unless I know someone intimately. Like, Chubbs Deuce, Crenella, Lucy, she's my girlfriend. Mac, my boy. Why do they say the player? We know that it's definitely William Afton. If you want proof from UCN, well, then how about the audio from OMC Easter egg where a voice can be heard calling Henry? Never mind the, like, dozens of voice lines from dozens of characters, all clearly implying that we play as William. There is one voice line that implies we might be playing as Mike in addition, but, like, we are absolutely 100% playing as William. And Golden Freddy is obviously the one you should not have killed. It's made very clear. Like, I don't even know what to say. This is out of date. Maybe since this was made, the person's, updated it or like realized, oh, actually, yeah, UCN is canon, but like, because this is a few years out of date, but right now this is how it is. Does BB have any FNaF Lore relevance at all? I've never seen anything on him. Balloon Boy is hella underrated and is a lot more relevant to the lore than you would think. And I'm just going to reveal this right here for the, you know, legends actually tuning into the stream. I think I've implied this a lot with the video that premiered earlier today already, but I do intend on making a Balloon Boy video at some point. I think that's going to be the next one. I did a poll. It was Mangle, BB, and Puppet. Puppet, I think, can wait. I think I need to make a video on Balloon Boy next, because Balloon Boy is very, very overlooked. But I think there's actually a lot more going on with Balloon Boy than people would think. And there's only a little, but it's very interesting. Alright. Unanswered questions, guys. Final section. I'm going to read all of this. Then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go AFK for like 10 minutes. And then we're going to delve back into all of the other questions and, like, you know, rambling that I want to get on with. So, you know, get your questions ready for the Q&A. You know, feel free to post them here. I will be answering them at the end of this stream. If you're not able to stick around, put them in here and you can come back. I'll timestamp it. It'll all be here. All right? So, yeah, if you've got questions, get them ready. I'm going to be answering them in maybe an hour or two. So, let's get on with this. I got to get on with this. I'm running out of time. So, unanswered questions. What happened to the bite victim? At the ending of FNaF 4, after the bite of 83, the little boy who suffered through it dies. Its Fredbear plush, however, says that he will put the boy back together before he dies. The question remains, what happened to him? What did Fredbear plush do? Excuse me. There are various theories regarding what happens to the bite victim. Some of those, for example, say he becomes Golden Freddy, while others say he becomes Shadow Freddy, and others simply say he dies without possessing anyone, even though that goes against Fredbear Plush's statement. Some even state that he is revived by William and is Michael Afton, his son. Okay. There are holes with every single theory about BV, however. If he becomes Golden Freddy, what happens to the fifth missing child? If he becomes Shadow Freddy, who is Shadow Bonnie? If he is Mike, who is the older brother? And so forth. BV has never again been acknowledged by any games after FNaF 4, leaving his final fate up in the air without any explanations. I have to agree. I think this is absolutely spot on. I think, as I said in the sister location video that premiered earlier today, if you want my thoughts, you can watch the video. This guy fucking sucks. Worst character in the... Well... most underutilized character in the franchise. He had an amazing, emotional, dramatic standalone story in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 that was really building up to something, and then it went nowhere. Instead of getting a further indication of this guy's fate and where he was in FNaFs 1, 2, and 3, for beating Night 7, you just get the box. It sucks. It's dumb. If I could remake FNaF 4, I would replace the whole box thing with showing what happened to this kid after I will put you back together. Something implying he is Golden Freddy, he is Fredbear. Because I think that's the most satisfying narrative. And I think you could adjust the lore, maybe retcon something to make it fit. Because, you know, this is correct. It's not technically the Fredbear plush speaking, I don't believe. Maybe it is, but there's a whole font color thing. But these questions are absolutely valid. Him becoming Golden Freddy is a problem because of the fifth missing child. Him becoming Shadow Freddy is a problem because it doesn't track with what we know about Shadow Bonnie. Him being Michael just completely contradicts sister location and has been debunked. I think all of these questions, the way it's laid out, is absolutely perfect. This guy is never acknowledged again. His fate is left completely unknown. It's such bull. I think sister location, Pizzeria Simulator, Ultimate Custom Night, every one of these games had an opportunity to shed light on what happened to him. Sister Location could have had, like, an extra blueprint or something. I'm thinking about the Legion Disc. You know, Pizza Sim could have had a secret minigame. It could have redone Midnight Motorist or something. You know, have consistent sprites, you know, make it recognizable. Ultimate Custom Night, instead of those bizarre intermissions that are hard to describe, it could have had some really interesting minigames or cutscenes revolving around the Aftons and FNaF 4. There were so many opportunities for this series to clarify what was going on, and it just didn't, and it's annoying. It sucks. Who are the Shadows? Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie are characters first introduced in FNaF 2. They are dark, black, and purplish versions of Withered Golden Freddy, Withered Golden Freddy, not Withered Freddy, Withered Golden Freddy, and Toy Bonnie specifically. The game itself does not reveal anything regarding either of them, and they are simply considered Easter eggs. In FNaF 3, Shadow Freddy is shown to be the one to lure the animatronics to be destroyed by William Afton, while Shadow Bonnie is shown to save one of the missing children and helps them get their happy stay at the end. Once again, however, no specific backstory has been revealed for either of them. Neither of the Shadows have ever made any appearance after FNaF 3, with the exception of Shadow Bonnie in Ultimate Custom Night as one of DD's summons, as a cardboard cutout in Help Wanted, and in Special Delivery as punishment for collecting too much Shadow Remnant, and in Fazbear Frights as an agony monster. A popular theory is that they're the ghosts of employees that have died from Springlock failures and now haunt the pizzerias. That hasn't been acknowledged or confirmed by Scott. I hate to say it, but that theory is just false. There's, like, no evidence for it other than a vague FNaF 3 reference. I would love to believe it, but we know a lot about Shadow Bonnie, okay? Forget Shadow Freddy. Let's focus on this guy for a minute. We know a lot about Shadow Bonnie. Shadow Bonnie is a manifestation of the agony of William Afton and the missing children's incident. It's been consistently depicted in Fazbear Frights, in Special Delivery, and Ultimate Custom Night to kind of just be... Well, most of this lore comes from the books, actually, I will be honest. It's just Frights. But lore-wise in Frights, it seems to just be kind of a manifestation of the evil and the darkness. And I wonder, are these two one and the same? can they, like, morph and change forms? We know Golden Freddy can do that, because he looks different in FNaF 1 and 2. So why not this as well? They're a ghost, they're made of memories. Why would Shadow Bonnie, based around the first Freddy's, take the silhouette of Toy Bonnie from the FNaF 2 location, a completely irrelevant character? I think this is symbolic. It's showing, first of all, it's a reference to Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Secondly, it's a reference to the two sets of murders, one at the original, one at the FNaF 2 location. It's, you know, they're both, you know, darkness manifested from William Afton's dark deeds, and I think they are actually one and the same creature, and that's why we've barely seen or heard from Shadow Freddy. They are one and the same. It's the same kind of dark, you know, agony monster. That is not a theory I can confirm. I don't disagree with this. I think this is completely fair. I would not put down that theory and say this is confirmed. It's nowhere near confirmed. That is the best theory I can come up with the information I have. But this is, I think this is absolutely fair. When does sister location happen? This should not be up for debate. This should not be up for debate. Let's read through it. One of the mysteries sister location brings up is its very own place in the FNaF timeline. Hand Unit, the AI voice present throughout the game, states that Circus Babies opened after a Freddy's closed down, narrowing its events to either after the first pizzeria, I like to call it the first Freddy's, the FNaF 2 pizzeria, or the FNaF 1 pizzeria. Even then, however, no clear answer is ever given in the game other than that. The Survival Logbook, a merchandise activity book for the series, hints at sister location happening before FNaF 1, although most things in-game hinted at in fact happening after it, like in the final cutscene, where Michael Afton states he has been living in the shadows for a while, and that he will find his father, William. Springtrap appears soon after, most likely hinting that SL takes place between FNaF 1 and 3, though that is still not clear. I don't know where you're interpreting that from. All in all, however, sister location doesn't need an exact date in the timeline. It works the same way no matter where it's placed. Wrong. Womp womp. The Survival Logbook does not hint that it's after FNaF 1. It hints that it's before FNaF 1, sorry. The final cutscene in no way, shape or form hints that it's after FNaF 1. I don't know where you're extrapolating that from. That is pure speculation. There is absolutely no indication that it's after FNaF 1. From that alone. I made a whole video on this. I just premiered it. You can go watch it. Track and Trace episode 3. Circus Baby, where was she? Sister location happens before FNaF 1, after the Missing Children's incident. I believe it's after the first Freddy's closes down. I can see it being after FNaF 2, but the evidence really pushes it being before 1987 and after 1983. Like, it just makes the most sense. There's so much evidence. So many different types of evidence. I'm not going to get into it now. I already did that for the whole video. What is the FNaF 4 gameplay and who do we play as? Good one. FNaF 4 is known to be one of the most cryptic, mysterious, and secretive entries in the series regarding lore, and most of it is thanks to its main gameplay, where a child has to defend against the nightmare animatronics in a room during the night. Although the game heavily implies it is all a dream, Sister Location points out that the rooms in the gameplay are in fact real and exist physically in the world around the same place as Circus Babies, complete with cameras monitoring them from an office in the facility. Some theories state that the gameplay is in fact real, and so are the nightmare animatronics, thanks to info presented by Sister Location. Others state that the gameplay uses the real-world location as a base, but the rest is all just a dream. One way or another, it was never clarified by either Scott or other sources. The game is implied to be none other than Michael Afton, thanks to hints from the Survival Logbook and a reverse phone call from FNaF 1 in-game. The bite victim, however, is still thought by some people to be the player in some way or another. Once again, no answer was given for either of these theories. Okay, so there's a lot of problems with FNaF 4. Not getting into it too deeply, the logbook, as much as I hate it, does completely overwrite all of the evidence presented in the novels and Sister Location, saying that no, this was a dream, which is what we originally thought. It's not an illusion disc-induced, reality. And we actually play as Michael. We don't play as the bite victim, we play as Michael. At this point, with all these retcons, I don't even care. I just think the gameplay's cool. But it has not been clarified. The fact that there's a reversed phone call from FNaF 1 specifically, I don't believe that proves that this is after FNaF 1. First of all, it's an Easter egg. It's a very much background thing that I literally did not notice for years. I didn't know that was a thing until, 2019 at the earliest. Maybe later. It's one of the sound effects that plays in the background. There's a lot of that. I think that just hints that maybe the person who's dreaming has heard Phone Guy's voice. That could be way earlier in the timeline. Phone Guy has been around since the original Freddy Fazbear's. We know from FNaF 2 and 3. I guess you could say, well, why didn't they use the FNaF 2 and 3 phone call sound effects? I don't know, man. The whole thing does imitate FNaF 1, and it definitely feels like there's a connection. But, like, the logbook straight up overwrites and contradicts what we know from Sister Location, even without the novels. It's really dumb. At this point, I don't really care. It's just annoying. Finally, an explanation. I'm really curious what this is going to say. Is Ultimate Custom like canon? Bro is questioning if UCN is canon, but is like, but Security Breach. Ultimate Custom like seems to be non-canon at first, but some of its characters' voice lines heavily imply that the player character is someone who has killed a child before, thought to be Golden Freddy, and that he has trapped them in this realm to torture them with animatronics. There are mainly 3 theories regarding UCN. One states that the player is William and the child possessing Golden Freddy has trapped him to have revenge against his murderer. Another one states that the player is Michael Afton and the bite victim was trapped in to have revenge for his accidental death. The latter only works if bite victim is an Afton, if the Foxy brother is Michael, and if bite victim is Golden Freddy. The final theory simply states the game is non-canon and all the voice lines are intentionally like that to deceive players and tease them for believing everything that's thrown at them. I know, I can totally see where you're going with that, but no. No. Like, Mr. Hippo has that covered. He has that covered. There's so much lore in this game that, like, clarifies the previous ones. It is absolutely canon. There is enough evidence to support all 3 theories, thus making it more of a player choice on what to believe rather than what's strictly canon. Scott, as expected, hasn't said anything about UCN's canonicity or otherwise. I think he has. Dorko interview, 2018. There was a segment on UCN. I don't know if there was any lore discussed, but there was a segment on UCN. This is really stupid. This is really stupid. If your theory about this entire game is that everything is intentionally made to deceive players into believing that it's lore, well, then, you know what? Maybe just FNaF 4 just isn't canon. Maybe this whole game was just made to troll players and deceive them, and none of it's actually canon. So, you know, maybe Sister Location, actually, the entire game is just not canon, because it was made as a troll. It was intentionally made to deceive players. All the connections to the previous games, all of the lore that connects to the books, nah, it's just a troll. It's just a troll. You know, I think the entire FNaF franchise is actually just one elaborate troll. And Security Breach is the only canon game because it's the newest release. The only thing that's canon is the newest release. Every time something releases, everything from the immediate game is immediately erased from canon. Ultimate Custom is not canon because Help Wanted just, like, replaces it. That has got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Like, the game is non-canon because it's intentionally made to deceive. Why is that special to UCN? You could say that about any fucking release since FNaF 4. Unironically. You could say that anything was made just to deceive players. Alright. Well, with all of that out of the way, guys, we're going to take a break in a few minutes and we're going to get on to the best part of the stream now. But this was a little deep dive into the FNaF lore, an overview of, you know, kind of the mainstream point of view of the FNaF lore. Again, this has been pinned to Reddit's front page for years. I think this is what is generally accepted. I agree with most of this. I think there's a few very strange outliers, which the majority of people wouldn't agree with. But I think this was actually pretty good. I think this was mostly very helpful. I think this was mostly very unbiased. I think this adequately covers pretty much all the major information someone would need to know being introduced to the FNaF lore. So I hope you enjoyed my reaction and kind of discussion about it. Just to react to the rest of what people were saying in chat about these unanswered questions. What have people been saying? Imagine not understanding the concept of an open-ended epilogue, honestly. Ultimate Custom Night is the perfect end to FNaF, because FNaF is never going to end. Having FNaF be open-ended is the perfect way to let it free. As much as I love Pizza Sim, and the finality of that, it was the actual only concrete finale. Because of fan demand, of course, there's going to be another game. So having UCM be the true end is the epilogue is perfect. But yes, Mac, this whole new live is not just to promote the track and trace video. It's to promote the channel. It's to promote Mr. Matt. It's to promote myself. It's to promote, you know, your engagement and your enjoyment and what you get out of everything I do. It's to promote everything. We'll talk more about it soon. Controversial opinion. He's Funtime Freddy, at least partially. Oh, Lucy. That's a theory. I'd give that theory like a 50% confidence vote. That's not a bad one, but I don't know. I can't believe it for sure. That's a fun one. Also, Ethan, you shared the Circus Baby video. Thank you so much, my dude. I thought I already shared it on your Discord, but I really appreciate it. Bless you. This is news to me. I had always assumed you played as the bite victim in FNaF 4. Yeah, Donnie, the survival logbook's a bitch. So, this thing released, and it has a drawing of Nightmare Fredbear missing his hat. And it's very clearly Mike's book. Mike from FNaF 1, who is also Michael Afton from Sister Location. And that book also confirms that fact. So it's very weird. It just completely contradicts the games. The only reason, which, like, it seems to be canon, is that it does reference Sister Location and FNaF 1 explicitly, but it's very weird. I would be willing to deem the logbook non-canon. It makes no sense. It's got drawings of FNaF 3 in there as well. Like, as part of the book. It makes no sense. Genuine question. Will you ever do a track and trace on human characters like Phone Guy, William Afton, etc., or you just be mentioning them when applicable in animatronic track and traces? Ooh, that's a very good question, and I'm just going to answer this one now. In fact, you know what? No. Give me a minute. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna answer it now. What the hell? Because that's a really good question. And I would say, obviously, having a bright, colourful animatronic in the thumbnail will get more clicks, but I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought further than Freddy, maybe Puppet, maybe BB, Mangle, and Circus Baby. I just finished the Circus Baby video last night, so all I'm thinking about is maybe doing Balloon Boy at some point. Other than that, I haven't even thought about it yet. So honestly, that is a really good idea I hadn't thought of, and I think I should absolutely do something like that. There is obviously going to be crossover. For example, I am probably never going to do videos on Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy because I covered them in the Freddy video. Of course, I could remaster the Freddy video at some point. I think it needs it. But I think Phone Guy is a possibility. William Afton / Springtrap would have to be like a 3-part video. That would be huge. Golden Freddy's a possibility, of course. Again, I'm trying to cover my bases. I covered, like, the main lore of 1 to 3 with the Freddy video. Like, I basically explained all the lore of that. With Sister Location, with Baby, I've explained all the lore from this and kind of tapped into the other two. So, I don't know. I can't confirm anything yet, but those are great ideas. Yeah. Is Michael Jeremy Fitzgerald or Fritz Smith from FNaF 2? Michael is Fritz Smith, without a shadow of a doubt. Tell you what, guys, I need to go get something to eat. So I'm going to go AFK briefly. I'm only going to be a couple minutes. While I am AFK, let me first of all put some music on. Let me get my FNaF tunes up. And I will answer FNaF Lore questions during the break. If you guys want to just keep the FNaF Lore questions coming, I will answer them while I eat. I'm going to mute and take my camera off while I'm eating, because I don't think that's too entertaining to watch. But I'm just going to select a couple of FNaF tracks to play while I'm AFK. I will be right back. I need to eat. So if you guys have questions, you want my input on FNaF Lore stuff, now's the time. Let's, like, organize this. Let's structure it. Give me all your FNaF Lore questions, and then we'll do other Q&A stuff later on. Alright? I will be right back. I'm just queuing up music. I'm using local files on Spotify. Very useful. Because my video player on my PC is obviously nowhere near as good. Let me just find a nice long song. Okay, that car going by sounded like the Iron Lung Ghostlight music, which I've got saved on here. That freaked me out a little bit. Ooh, you know what? Let's play this. This is a banger. This is like one of my favorite tracks. I'll be honest, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Normally I end my live streams within an hour from now. But I think I can run over, because I got a lot to talk about, but most of it can be summed up fairly briefly. But yeah, this track is an absolute banger. So if you've got any FNaF Lore questions, let me know now, and I can help you out with that. I'm gonna queue up the coolest tracks just during the break. Food acquired. Okay, folks. You know, maybe that'd be a good tier list ranking. FNaF OSTs. Ethan, that's a good idea. We should definitely do a stream on that sometime soon. Wink, wink. Oh boy. If only that wasn't happening very soon. If with a public watch page already set in stone for a time that might be subject to change. But don't worry about that. I'm ready to answer the Mac. Ask away. So, this is the thing. Chaotic Silver, you said, I don't know what to really ask about, but I want to contribute. It feels weird not having my camera on for this, but I'm eating, guys, so take it this way. This is your only opportunity to ask me, you know, about like FNaF theories and FNaF lore and get it in an official video on the channel for everyone to see until the next video. This is your one opportunity you're probably ever going to get to literally just get a question and an answer in an actual video on the channel, because with the rest of the videos, the track and trace series and whatever else I do, like Mr. Hippo stories, that's all scripted by me. I pick and choose what I want, and I'm only going to cover specific things. So if there's something you want my opinion on, you know, this year, because it's going to take me like, you know, months to get to that part of the series where I'm covering that topic, if I ever do, now's your chance. I need to wait for my food to cool down, so I'm going to put my camera back on. I got spaghetti bolognese. It's pretty nice. And I got some orange juice here as well. So, I'll tell you what, though. This is more visually interesting. Put the headphones back on as well, I guess. Oh, there we go. Oh, you know what? The song finished. I'm just going to pause it there. The music's for when I'm not speaking. So, did Charlie die before or after CC and Y? Okay, so CC is Crying Child, which is another name for Bite Victim, BV. This kid doesn't have a name. I like to call him Junior because I think he might be connected to Juniors from Midnight Motorist. But also because if he doesn't have a name, maybe he's just William Afton Jr. Maybe he's also called William. You ever think about that? I don't know. That feels like something William Afton would do, especially considering the situation with Mike. So I just call him Junior. So Junior, right? Obviously Charlie died first. I'm in agreement with this timeline here. We know for a fact that this happened in 1983. Oh wow, that's crunchy. We know for a fact that's 1983. But the puppet is shown in FNaF 2 giving gifts and giving life to the original, missing children. And we know that the MCI has happened before FNaF 4 because there's a girl, the green-eyed pigtail girl who looks like a baby, who says, something about rumors at Freddy Fazbear's. The animatronics come to life at night and they hide your body where so no one will ever find it. So by the time of FNaF 4, the animatronics are already haunted, going around killing employees. That is already happening. And this is before Freddy shuts down. So the missing children's incident probably happened years ago at this point. And, the puppet's murder must have happened before that. And I have reason to believe this is at Fredbear's, which means that there's another couple of years, time gap between this, or months at least. There are, some big time gaps for things to happen in this series. I'm pretty confident that Charlie's definitely happens first. It doesn't really make any other sense the other way around, because for the Bite Victim thing to happen first, I don't know, that's just weird to me. The green-eyed girl with the rumors, that whole thing doesn't add up. This is a bit hot, but I'm gonna eat. Yeah, I'll put the music back on. Alright. So, I do have a question about the Nightmare animatronics. It's been a while since I've gotten deep into fan theory, so I don't know what's the general agreement, but what are they? There is no general agreement. Sister Location and the Twisted Ones says that they are weird shells of Sister Location-esque animatronics that use illusion discs to transform into these nightmarish abominations. The logbook says they are just nightmares. I mean, in the past, people have entertained the idea of both, but it's, very confusing. How can they be both? How does that work? Someone's having nightmares of the real thing at different points in the timeline. It's weird. And it makes the whole debate kind of redundant if it's both. They are called Nightmare animatronics, so maybe the simplest answer is the most effective. But I would put Sister Location above the logbook in terms of priority. To be fair, it's really the Twisted Ones versus the logbook. The Sister Location doesn't really confirm anything. Afton doesn't have a bed in the FNaF house and practically lived at work. The SL bunker. Okay, so the SL bunker, I like to call it the Faz bunker. I don't think he literally didn't have a bed at home, but I think, yeah, there were times, especially as the tragedies progressed and he lost members of his family to his own creations, that he would have just lived at work. It definitely explains why he's so absent in FNaF 4. The fact that the crying child was even able to be bullied that much, never mind bitten by Fredbear, that was pure negligence on William's part. Okay. That's loud. But yeah, William's negligence is what got the bite victim killed. If he was supervising Mike and the brother, wouldn't have happened. Midnight Motorist. Who is the orange guy? If he's Afton, why he orange? What is the man in the woods? A grave, the SL bunker entrance, a berry twisted animatronic. What is Junior's? Good questions. Okay, so the thing about Midnight Motorist, it is the only element of Pizzeria Simulator which adds more questions instead of answering them. Alright. This to me suggests that it's connected to FNaF 4. And the only things that I can say for a fact, I have no idea why he's orange, but that is William Afton. Same purple car, game files are later that night from Security Puppet, the rain is the same, and, you know, who else would it be if we think about the rest of it? The mound in the woods is not a mound. I don't know why people say it's a mound. It's clearly a rectangular hole in the ground with 3 pixels sticking out from it. I believe it's a reference to the twisted ones. Let me actually show you this. Because I say this a lot, and it's like, I don't... Where is it? Okay, so if we go... Pizza Sim... Midnight Motorist Mound. I'll just find a good image of this. Come on, where's the secret location? Ooh, someone made like a whole map of it. Let me check that out. I just want a good image. Thank you. Bless these Redditors that make these images. Like, damn. Okay, so can I... Let me just open this in a new tab. There. Right. There we go. Alright. That right there. I know it's kind of hard to see. The resolution doesn't help. But if I go to the FNaF archives and I dig up this image, look familiar? I'm just going to put this here. I know it's very hard to see, but can you make out the outline of the mound? I'll draw it in red. Alright. This is the outline of the mound. I don't know about you, but I see Twisted Freddo. I know it's not an exact match. It's like 3 fingers rather than 4. I think that's just the limit of the pixels. I'm not saying Twisted Freddy is in that hole. He doesn't exist in the game universe. I think it's the Nightmare animatronics. I think it's Nightmare Fredbear. Why? Because if I just go to, oh, I don't know, a really good Five Nights at Freddy's 4 YouTube channel, which you should definitely subscribe to, and I just pick literally any video, look at this. What do we see? I'm just saying, the pieces fit together. It's a similar house. Nightmares coming out of the woods, out of the darkness, out of the ground. It's a loose theory, but it's the best answer I got for that particular question. And Juniors, I don't know about, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like it's probably a Freddy's location, but I think it's really weird that there's a Freddy's location on its own in the woods next to their house. Is this any of the Freddy's locations we know? MapPad thinks it's the FNaF 2 location, which breaks the timeline. I don't believe that. This is before the MCI. This is before FNaF 4. This is early. If I had to guess... I mean, Afton's banned from it. The green guy, no one talks about. Who is he? Is he someone important? And after he goes to his own house, it's like, ran off to that place again. He'll be sorry when he gets back. Which place? Junior's or the mound? And it's like, which character ran off? I believe it's Michael in the chair, because the TV thing seems to be a reference to sister location. So that leaves the bite victim. But honestly, like, Michael Afton in SL and this character here don't really align with FNaF 4 Mike. It's very weird. Like, personality-wise. The grey text font's an indication that's the same, but I really don't know. It's a loose theory, but I think the FNaF 4 bite victim is the kid that William's bullying, and he's the one who runs off. Where he ran off to, why he ran off, unclear. Maybe he just had a shit home life, abusive dad, no mother, and Juniors was an escape. I mean, why is it called Juniors? It's clearly a place for kids. There's so many things that don't make sense, though, like, all those cars parked there, that late at night, why would he run off to a kid's place? That would be open at that time. It makes way more sense if it's like a bar or a pub, and it's like an indication that William is a drunkard in this particular scenario. It also explains why he's yellow. But then, like, what's, you know, the ground thing, not the mound, the hole. Where does that go? What's that about? Maybe it is a grave. Maybe he's going to pay his respects to, you know, Elizabeth. Maybe that's where Elizabeth's body was buried. But Elizabeth can't be dead yet. You see what I mean? Trying to solve Midnight Motors just go in circles. The thing is, Charlie's got to be the first murder, but why is there a security puppet? Why is there already an animatronic designed to protect Charlie and children, you know, in the location if there hasn't been another tragedy yet? Something must have happened before Charlie that we don't really know about. Maybe Sammy is in the game somehow. Okay. Gonna cut the music because that's not FNaF music. Also, we got more questions. This is fun. General question to Matt rather than continuity error. I'll answer it anyway. Will I see the FNaF movie? Yes. I need to watch the FNaF movie. I will be watching it when it premieres in theaters on the day. Hopefully, with some people. Like my sister Tasha. Brotato. Maybe. I gotta finish eating. But, any plans to do a debate direct or lore breakdown on it? No. No plans for anything. At least not yet. After I've watched it, maybe. Will the movie universe closely relate to the games like Charlie's trilogy? I think inevitably. The movie's going to derive from the games, so people are going to derive from the movie to the games. They're going to, you know, overanalyze and interpret things that don't really apply it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. The movie seems to be sticking pretty closely to the source material anyways. So, I don't know. Silver, honestly, you're right. Maybe no one died before Charlie, but there was like an injury. Maybe it was like an accident, the first Springlock accident or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what's in the box, and I don't particularly care. I think Matt Pat's last theory on it from, like, 2018 is the thing that makes the most sense. He basically explained how the box was retconned, like, 3 times. And now it's just a symbolic thing for Pizza Sims crap, which I accept. Azu, you know very well what you're doing, and I will not tolerate it. Okay. Alright. Fellas, I'm done eating. I need to go put this away so it doesn't stink out my room. So just give me 2 minutes, and we will resume the stream. 2 minutes. I'll even find a song that's 2 minutes. Here you go. It's alright, just need a little more time. Alright, I'm back. I'm ready now. Let's do this. I made it loop. I meant to put on another song. Whatever. Alright. Hello. Kanyito. Yeah, I can see you. I can see your messages, dude. No problem. So, let's get into this. Mike and William / Steve? What do you mean / Steve? What are you on about? Alright. So, next thing on my list. We've talked about what the FNaF lore is, but I want to step back for a minute. I want to start the real stream. Honestly, this is where the real live stream starts. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and obviously there's some points where I've stopped and thought, how and why do we theorize? How and why? Because, I mean, simply put, right, I think there's different approaches and different ways to theorize about the FNaF lore, and they've changed. They've changed with time. Let's again refer to this, right? When FNaF started out, it presented a mysterious story. The player had to put the pieces together and do some detective work, like an investigation, to figure out what was going on. And this became even more complicated with FNaF 2, and then 3, and before you know it, there were 4 of these games, and nobody knew what was going on. Things got really mysterious with FNaF 4. What had, quickly, what had quickly snowballed into, the FNaF lore, this amazing community, this fan base that was, obsessed with the mysteries of this game because the story and the narrative hints and the characters ran so deep. It was kind of faced with this conundrum because FNaF 4 just kind of implied that it was all redundant, had the whole dream theory thing going. There wasn't really another explanation that actually accommodated everything. And of course, there's been things like FNaF World, which have been, fun and interesting, but are evidently spin-offs and not canon. Things got complicated with Sister Location. Things got really messy with the books. But I've always thought that Pizza Sim and UCN kind of rectified the lore. They kind of, tied the threads together. Because what I said in the video today was that the FNaF lore to me has always been about solving the mystery to unlock a satisfying story. I've actually rewatched old MatPat videos. I can't stand to watch any newer ones since the logbook. I actually stopped watching them. But I went through a bunch of his old videos. And I'm kind of beginning to see now that not everyone shares that mentality. It's, the process of, FNaF theorizing is different for everybody because there's a lot of different information sources to take in. Some are considered valid while some are not. There's a lot of different ways to interpret things. Some things are not meant to be taken literally, but that's not clear, so people take them literally, or vice versa. My interpretation's not perfect, but, no one's is. And, there's a whole bunch of different debates about not just what is canon, but how and why is canon, and kind of the actual process of theorizing and the fundamental kind of functionality of it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that why do we do this? What's the point? And I can only speak on behalf of my experience. So I'm going to run through my experience only, but I would love to hear yours, because my experience and kind of, you know, time as a theorist is different to different people's. I mean, I've always thought the point was to discover a secret story that was enhanced the experience. Because let's be honest, right? In terms of gameplay, FNAF's pretty good. It's had some misses. Not naming names. It's had some gameplay loops that were less than optimal. But overall, the gameplay is great. It's a fun game, if you like it. FNAF 4 was poorly received because of FNAF fatigue. These games came out way too quickly, so they were kind of rushed. And if you look at PewDiePie's reaction, he's just tired, sick and tired of this game by the fourth one, because it's the exact same as the previous ones to him. It's like, you know, same basic gameplay loop ideas, same crap, and it's like, same shit, new day, right? And it's like, actually, if you look at FNAF 4 in isolation these days, and you take your time going through these, this game is phenomenal. It's one of the best in terms of gameplay. And it's just that wasn't appreciated at the time, because we were coming off the back of these games, which, to a lot of outside mainstream observers, were all just the exact same thing duplicated. They're all just clones. Now, obviously, there are a lot of, you know, variants of the FNAF, you know, gameplay loop, a lot of different versions of it, but it's got such a definitive style and kind of substance that it's practically its own subgenre. Five Nights at Freddy's, it's a subgenre of indie horror survival, which is already a subgenre, I guess, but, you know, it's got its own thing, and you either like it or you don't. But to a lot of people over the years, including myself, it was never really about the gameplay, or even like the style of the games or anything. It was about the story. Because the story is what made these interesting. The story is what made these unique. Not only is the setting really interesting, but the fact that there's actually a narrative explaining all this bizarre stuff hidden throughout the game, and you got to really like investigate and play it to get to it. You know, there were definitely times where this got frustrating, like having, you know, to lean on the books and having to do reading to understand basic stuff, having information in teasers and friggin' source code of a website that is no longer accessible. Definitely an issue, but, you know, overall, it was fun, and it meant something. It was interesting, it was intriguing, it was dark, it was a very fresh spin for the horror franchise. Never mind gaming, never mind indie, like horror period. It was very unique. And the thing about FNAF is that the story really changed. I think this split right here really demonstrates that. I'll talk about it again in a bit. I have to go through things in the right order here. It's kind of hard to explain, because I didn't script this. This is all off the cuff. Yeah, here's the thing, right? With me, FNAF, I started with FNAF 3. Well, I did actually start with FNAF 1. I had vaguely heard of FNAF during, you know, this, like, winter 2014. The first time I ever saw FNAF was this exact image on a computer to my left. I was in IT class. We were doing a digital art project. I look to my left and I see this thing on someone's computer. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like a bear, but it looks like a robot. And I was really confused by it, and I didn't know why, but I felt drawn to it. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off it. FNAF really does have iconic and incredible, like, designs. And my sister really got into FNAF with FNAF 2. And one day, you know, January 2015, I think, by the time, you know, she came to me telling me about this game franchise and all the hype, and I was introduced to Markiplier and the Living Tombstone for the first time. And before I knew it, FNAF 3's trailer was out, and at school one morning, one of the boys on his phone was showing me the FNAF 3 trailer, and we all gathered around. I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's supposed to be like a hybrid of all the animatronics. It's like really weird. And very quickly, like, this trilogy made a mark on me. I started watching 8-Bit Gaming and their lore videos. I realized, wow, this is super cool. It's super mysterious. But I actually had to keep it a secret, because this is a horror franchise. And when I brought it up at the dinner table, I was met with a negative response. So Tasha and I, we kept our interest in FNAF secret for an entire year. And so, you know, FNAF 4 arrived, the book started, FNAF World was a thing. And Dream Theory was frustrating, but I still kind of enjoyed it. And again, quickly enough, sister locations on the horizon. And this was the first game that I actually played when it released without having watched a video first. It was sister location. And it was an experience. I loved it. It was so fresh. It was so new. And unfortunately, although the lore had been fun to delve into up to this point, it had gotten really frustrating with sister location. Because the thing is, there had been too much information. It was kind of an overload, I guess. It was an overload of information that was like fairly contradictory and too vague. FNaF 4 was too vague. Sister location was like taking the franchise in a weird direction. And it was like this for like a year. But then shortly after Map Pack came along and actually sort of solved this and tied this up and kind of led the community, Scott Cawthon himself came in with this. And Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator to this day remains my favourite FNaF game. I mean, the experience of playing this for the first time, which was entirely recorded, by the way, and you can watch the Let's Play if you can find my old channel. Just phenomenal game all round. I loved every aspect of it. I loved how it tied up the lore. And I think, like, this was when my interest in the lore got really revitalized. Up until this point, I had been a fairly casual FNaF fan. I definitely consumed a lot of FNaF content, but I would have considered myself a casual. I had only started actually playing the games for myself a few weeks before Sister Location released for my birthday, August 2016. Because I've been too scared of playing before. But with Pizzeria Simulator, the books kind of finishing off, an Ultimate Custom Night, I got really invested in the lore. And for me, it was figuring out the whole timeline. It was piecing together everything and making it neatly fit in a way that is satisfying and meaningful. And obviously that's never been done, because that's an incredible ask. It's a big ask that's pretty much impossible to do without cheating and making exceptions, because this series is just all over the place. But I absolutely loved the kind of implications of the story and the headcanons and the characters and the kind of tie-ins and the connections and the kind of simultaneous parallels. And it's just really fun. There's something satisfying mathematically about solving a mystery, but there's something even more satisfying in a kind of literacy sense of understanding and appreciating the deep meaning of the story. Not just the how, but the why. The characters and what this tells us about ourselves and how this applies to real life and, like, you know, what lessons there are to be derived from this. Like, yeah, obviously, you know, FNaF 4 is complete fiction, but it just goes to show the devastating effects of bullying and what happens when parents neglect their children. It is a, you know, a tale. It is like a cautionary tale of neglectful parenting and, you know, bullying, you know? Security Puppet. Charlie is killed because she was bullied. She was like isolated, and that's how Afton was able to catch her, you know? Like, you know, Michael's story is just an incredible tragedy, and it just goes to show, you know, kind of like what the depths, I guess, of the evil in this series. And it's like, you know, Pizza Sim is beautiful. It's a perfect finale because it ties up the loose ends. And it gives us an insight into kind of like what makes all these characters tick as individuals and why, you know, Henry is so interesting. He's one of the most complex characters in the game, and he basically has 2 speeches, and that's it. Like, he was crap in the novels. There was nothing there I liked. But Henry in the games is, like, one of the most, you know, nuanced and emotionally complex characters in the series, and he's, like, the closest thing FNaF has to a hero. The grey morality of the entire thing and how there's no actual good guys just really sells it, I think. Because, like, there's the whole thing is about the death of innocence and the kind of, you know, a triumph of evil. It's, I don't know, there's so much you can get from this. But it's not even that complicated. Story doesn't have to be deep and complicated and speak about the human condition or do any pretentious shit to be good. It just needs to tell a story. And for all of its flaws, like, it did that. And then this happened. So, my enjoyment with the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, I feel like I've pretty clearly explained. It was derived from, it was a special, unique kind of enjoyment that kind of tapped into some of the skills from my favourite school subjects, but also, like, the enjoyment of, I guess, just the story and the mystery. And my aims with the lore have pretty much always been the same, because what you're watching right now, all these videos on Continuity Era, all of this stuff from the last couple of years, is really just the newest expression of the same things I've been doing for myself since 2018 or 2019. Because until 2018, I pretty much just followed and went along with whatever MatPat said. I think he was right about pretty much everything until the logbook release, and then that really just sent him spinning, which I don't blame him for, because that book just screws everything up. But, like, after, you know, the last, like, the trilogy was concluded, and the logbook and UCN, I was thinking, you know what? I want to do this myself. And I actually don't have them on me, but I basically have notebooks on everything from, like, the first 7 games, skipping FNaF World, and, like, well, actually, I know 8. I did include FNaF World. I did a big lore deep dive, like, pen and paper, writing it all down and kind of, you know, analysing it all for myself. It was a really fun and unique way to test my skills outside the classroom, because I do a lot of this kind of thing in history, English, literature, and even maths to a certain extent. And, you know, I just kind of, like... It felt like I could actually own it. It was personal. It was like, yeah, like, this is an accomplishment. It was fun. It was interesting. It was a really interesting thing to discuss. Because, again, this would never have been as much fun on its own. The community is really what makes FNaF, or at least has done in part over time. Because the people who I've been able to have really interesting conversations with about, like, the meaning and, like, the secrets of these games, even if it's not strictly about the lore, I mean, it's absolutely just, you know, phenomenal. The conversations I've had, the people I've met. My girlfriend, Lucy, I met her because of the FNaF lore. That's not even a joke. Like, you know, I literally met my SO because of the FNaF lore, which is just, it's hard to describe. And, yeah, it's just like the fact that there has this big community and there's so many different ideas on it, and it's such a colourful, expressive, intriguing community who's so creative. If you think about all the source filmmaker animations and fan fictions and, you know, fan songs made over the years to find new ways to express, you know, all of the story and the mystery in these games, there's just so much enjoyment to be derived artistically. And this is the thing, when I started doing lore for myself, I've realised, man, this isn't a science, it's an art. It's an art form. But then, of course, comes the newer content, and my kind of frustrations with the newer content. You see, Help Wanted released this dumb fucking game. And at the time, I just thought it was alright. I hadn't been able to play it for myself, because I didn't have VR. I was only able to play it for myself in flat mode well after special delivery release. I think it was like Christmas 2020. And it was like, you know, both of these games I thought were okay and both had flaws, but I hadn't really given it that much thought. At the time, I kind of liked both of them. I played both of them at some point, and I enjoyed both of them in a simple surface level gameplay kind of way at some point. But I was never super invested in them because of the story. For some reason, Help Wanted had this really weird narrative, and I never understood it, and I just thought, oh, it's a reboot, because the whole sequence of it showing all the games from previous games, I thought was a really weird way to reboot the franchise, but I thought, it makes sense, right? Like, this is like a new generation of FNaF, it's a new continuity, like the books. The books in 2015, before Sister Location, the books were established to be in a separate continuity, in a different timeline. So I thought that was exactly what was going on here. It seemed obvious. There was this whole new story. It was kind of interesting. I won't lie. I thought, okay, this is going somewhere. Got like a cult of Afton. It's a bit weird, but I'm interested to see where it goes. And then sometime after special delivery, we started getting the teasers for FNaF 2020, eventually revealed to be Security Breach. And the game was in development for a long time. I was happy to wait. The community wasn't. And the controversy started. Scott Cawthon almost made FNaF NFTs, you know? And then, in the middle of 2021, June 12th, Scott Cawthon retired. You know what? Screw it. I'll bring it up. If you go to Animbude on Reddit, Scott Cawthon claimed to retire, is what I should say. He claimed to retire. And I don't think I need to go over this again. It was a pretty depressing experience, and I did actually do a live stream shortly after this. This was really upsetting. FNaF had been kind of dead for a while, in the same way it had been dead in 2017. But I thought that's fine. It's good. It's a big, ambitious game. They'll make it good with the time they've been given. Like, they will take the time to make it good and all that stuff. So I was just kind of enjoying FNaF as it was anyway. But then there was this awful drama over political donations. And it was shocking, really. I mean, it was such a poor response. Scott Cawthon, I'm not going to claim to know him. I'm not going to claim to have effectively psychoanalyzed him. I don't want to encourage a parasocial relationship, more like a parasitic relationship. But I have to say, this post is very out of character for him. Compared to how he usually communicates, this was very uncharacteristic. It was an absolute shock. And then he went dead. Scott Cawthon, since then, he has made one post, and he has made a couple comments. But the only comments are, get this, I will be there at a charity stream. I fired the official artist who made child porn, despite the fact that this was public knowledge years ago, and I should have done it long ago. You know, the FNaF movie trailer got leaked, and this is new. That's from 1 month ago. That's interesting lore. Scott actually listens to Toby Fox music. That's cool, actually. That's fun. But yeah, he just kind of says see you in October, because people were remembering to wish him birthday, and at this point I felt the FNaF movies were going to make or break the franchise, because with both the lore and other things, when Security Breach finally arrived, we were devastated. Scott Cawthon had been cancelled and he'd left the franchise. The Fazbear Fanverse initiative had already taken its first hit, with one of the developers being revealed to be a child groomer. And then we got what might be the worst game ever made. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because I've said plenty of things already that are probably exaggerated, but like, Security Breach was an experience. It was like the biggest disappointment and like the most painful like stab in the gut in terms of like media that I've ever experienced. I played for 23 hours and it was the most frustrating, glitchy, you know, poorly designed shovelware that I've ever had the unfortunate of playing. It was atrocious. That game had very few redeeming qualities that were only really good in isolation. Like, oh, great voice acting, Kalingoff, like usual. You know, oh, I guess the location design's kind of cool. But what it did with the lore, and of course the after ending, was just offensive. I took personal offense to it because it was such a disgusting, I mean, I said at the time, it ruined the FNaF lore. That aged well. Pun not intended. It literally stripped away all the value that the finale of Pizza Sim had brought to the franchise. Without this, FNaF Lore and Sister Location are much worse. This thing was phenomenal. It redeemed the lore, and it absolutely just shat all over it. It completely ignored all the emotional and dramatic value of the FNaF story, and shoved in this bizarre self-insert nonsense that tried to fit all of the, you know, nonsensical, poorly written garbage from this trilogy into the rest of the FNaF universe. And everyone went with it. People accepted it. People just ran with it. And at this point, like, for the first time in over 7.5 years, over 7 years, I was questioning if I even wanted to be part of the FNaF franchise anymore. I mean, it was just such an awful thing. So I just woke up. I just realized I've gone on a really big tangent for, like, no reason. Whoa. Did I actually just go on a rant? Oh my god, it's 7:30. What the fuck? Shit, I got lost in the source. Listen, okay, listen. I don't like FNaF anymore, alright? All of my passion and all of my love for FNaF has a very sharp stopping point around, well, okay. It has a soft stopping point around 2020. I think the last time I genuinely enjoyed Five Nights at Freddy's content was the last Fazbear Frights epilogue, because I was invested in Fazbear Frights. I thought it was a good series. And I enjoyed, you know, some of the stories. Fazbear Frights is extremely hit or miss. And, you know, some of it was absolute garbage as well. But, you know, Special Delivery and Help Wanted, I had kind of tepid, lukewarm feelings about. I absolutely hate the story. Everything else variable. But Ultimate Custom Night and all the games preceding it were like where my passion for the franchise lay. And the thing is, after Security Breach, there was this whole drive and all these new FNAF tubers popping up, you know, really analysing FNAF objectively and thinking, hang on, it's been a few years since we actually played any of these games. Let's take a deep look back and really think. Has a franchise always been as good as we say it has? Or is this just, you know, rose-tinted nostalgia talking? Is Security Breach really that bad? And I think the resounding answer has been yes, obviously. A lot of people like me just left the fan base. I'm not on Reddit anymore. I don't engage with stuff like this regularly. I'm only here because it's the anniversary and I wanted to do something special with the FNAF lore. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm still here for that original story. I'm still here for that original universe that enticed me way back when in the 2010s as a teenager, as a kid. So I'm all for trying to solve this part of the lore because that's what these videos are for. I say it in the intro of every video, the original timeline, and that's what I'm here for. Every video. I'm interested in these games and their stories because they're legitimately well written. They're compelling, they're captivating. They're not perfect, but they are much better than the diseased nonsense that is whatever these are supposed to be. I mean, it's just like undoing all the good of the story with these. They could have done literally anything else and it would have been better. And this leads on to my frustrations with the FNAF fandom, because to be honest, I think the fandom is to blame for a lot of things, and the fandom has a lot more power than it thinks it does. And I just think the FNAF fanbase in general has, you know, kind of shot itself in the foot on multiple occasions. I think, you know, the lack of criticism of Scott's, you know, retirement, which has effectively just been ghosting his fan base and just pretending that all of the horrible, horrible things happening every month aren't happening. I can't even list off all of the fanverse drama. The Fazbear Fanverse Initiative, God, what an idea! What a beautiful concept! You get your fan game developers to be officially licensed. That is such a great idea. That's beautiful. I love it. Why has no one else done that? Oh, because they're all being made by a bunch of mentally unstable teenagers who have no fucking self-control or self-awareness. And clearly Cawthon hasn't bothered to mentor them or kind of, you know, provide at least some semblance of a father figure that is sorely needed. Or do any background research on these people, because let's face it, like, he doesn't do background checks on anyone he hires. He hires all the wrong people, consistently, constantly. Individuals, companies, it sucks. And yeah, John Chrome's, you know, been cancelled. Kane Carter's been cancelled. There was a whole pair thing going out of order here. You remember Jelly Liam, Afton built? Nixon's a transphobic douchebag, apparently. Fiznom is Fiznom and literally got his entire game cancelled after 3 years of being paid for working on it, with the entire game just never releasing, just because he was kind of an asshole on Twitter and the fan base wanted to cancel him that bad. I mean, it's just absolutely pathetic on all sides. That's just the fanverse. Not even getting into the official artists, all the stuff Steelwall and Illumix have been up to, and of course, you know, the delays with the movie. But, like, the fanbase's response to all of this, I mean, I guess there's been a bit of a purge lately. I think a lot of fans are just sick and tired and have, like, upped and left, because FNAF is a fucking degenerate shithole right now. Because, you know, the content is absolutely mediocre. There's so much drama and controversy at every turn. You literally can't enjoy anything without it being tainted by, oh, the artist, you know, broke the law in some way. And it's like the people remaining are the people who are happy to just kind of go along with it or will tolerate it. And I'm just like, man, how the hell do you have the mental fortitude for that? How can you be this ignorant? And it's like, people still, like, revere Scott. People talk about him like he died or something. It's like, bro, he didn't even actually retire. Shut the fuck up. And it is so frustrating. It is so frustrating. I can't even begin to explain how frustrating it is. Because, like, we used to have something that was incredible. It broke the boundaries of gaming. It broke the boundaries of horror. It broke the boundaries of an indie product. And it's just absolutely devolved into some of the worst, you know, just some of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, this used to be a horror franchise about dead children. Now it's made for children. Now the consistency and the quality is extremely sporadic. Now, like, there's no trust, faith, or enjoyment in anything because it's all tainted by all the drama. It's disgusting. And the FNaF fandom, and particularly, we're talking more generally right now, this isn't about the lore. The lore is like the least important thing. Security Breach ruining the lore is like the least offensive thing it did. Yeah, that might not be true, but... Anyways, my point is... is that, like, with regards to lore especially, the FNaF fandom is really uptight. Like, I don't know if it's always been this way, because I was less active until, like, 2019, but, like, theorists are almost always really uptight and, self-absorbed and egotistical about what is and isn't right. I swear, I can't have a straight conversation with someone on any of the Five Nights at Freddy's Reddits, because anytime I bring up a theory that I think is true, they will immediately go out their way to debunk it, insult my bloodline, and, attempt to cancel me on Twitter. I mean, it's like, you'd think I'd killed their grandma or something. The way they go on with this absolute hostility, which I find comparable to religious zealotry and the, oh, I believe in this, you're wrong. What I believe in is factually right when it's not. And it's just a shame, because I still enjoy this. I still enjoy exploring the world and the mysteries of these old games, and that's why I still make these videos, but I've kind of arrived a few years too late, because the fandom right now is the most toxic it's ever been, and it's, the actual mainline content is the most frustrating and mind-numbing it's ever been, with the constant plot twists and retcons and incoherent storytelling. Canon versus continuity, something that came up earlier. There is only one FNaF canon, okay? Everything is canon. It's just that there are different continuities. You got to think of it as timelines, okay? I would consider all of this to be a separate timeline from this. Like, it would make way more sense to me, looking at it objectively at the evidence, that Help Wanted onwards is like a new timeline. The Steel War games barely, fit into the older games at all. Like, they completely break what we know about the universe, and they undo, like, the perfect ending. The same way the books are in their own timeline, the same way Fazbear Frights is in its own timeline. I don't know why there's this double standard that, oh, they're games, so they have to be in the main timeline. Just because of the medium, even though it's been produced by a completely different company with, completely different premise that directly... contradicts these ones. And also, there's even people who say that, well, Help Wanted is canon, but Special Delivery is not canon. It's only a mobile game. It can't be important. It's not canon because I don't like it, which is just, like, the stupidest thing. It's such a, like, if you gotta have your cake and eat it. If you're gonna say Help Wanted is canon, you gotta say Special Delivery is canon too, because they are connected. All three of these, Security Breach as well. Like, that's just how it is, if you look at the evidence. And yeah, there's a lack of literacy. There are a lot of FNaF theorists don't seem to care about character motivations, or the story, or the writing. They just care about the cold hard facts. And that way, they don't get any satisfying answers. They get these stupid, nonsensical sequences of events that can barely be referred to as stories, without any regard for what is or isn't a literal or non-literal detail. Like, I've seen people in the past say, but don't we care about the truth and only the truth? And it's like, I want a good fucking story. I will headcanon a good story to fill in the blanks, if that means getting it, rather than just taking everything at face value and leaving unsatisfied, because that is the point. That is what theory crafting is all about. That's what it has always been all about for me, and I don't think that's changed. I'm not going to let some shitty rip-off fan games ruin well over half a decade of some of the best fucking media I've ever experienced. Yeah, that's it. Oh, man. What a rant. Why am I ranting so much, dude? I really went off the deep end there. Alright, well, anyway. I guess that's everything. I guess I needed to vent. Holy crap. But, like, that's how it is, guys. That's the conundrum I face. That's the dilemma of this channel. The history of this channel, the meaning of this channel, is the last thing I want to talk about, okay? Because this isn't what it is now. It wasn't always planned to be this. Okay, we didn't get any comments on this. Okay, this channel, it changed over time. If you actually go to the all videos playlist, you'll find everything, even the unlisted ones. So this channel was originally meant to launch alongside Security Breach. The plans were being made in August of 2021, and then Security Breach released, and my motivation took a massive hit. And after some teasers and some fun little edits, it took months to recover. It wasn't until May that I finally made an introductory video with a scrapped trailer and other scrapped concepts for the channel. I believe this was the 4th iteration of the channel, when I decided I'm going to do what I set out to do. I'm not going to let FNAF's current state, as it has been, ruin the entire lore for me. So I still want to make FNAF theory content, because this is still fun. And all of this is stuff from 2019. All of this is stuff from the 2010s. But yeah, it wasn't until May 22 when I finally got things picked up. And, you know, fast forward to the end of 2022, and I've got, like, you know, a trailer. I forgot about this. After a big old gap, I finally produced this, because I felt a need to make a meta video to start 2023, talking about the bigger picture, talking about what's going on in the real world, rather than just, you know, in-universe. Because I don't want to pretend like all of these problems like aren't happening right now. Like this video is my acknowledgement of everything wrong with what I'm doing, but my goal is to find like a happy medium and kind of strive for something that is still, you know, worthwhile in this day and age. And hopefully this live stream has kind of signaled that, you know, finally I'm back, baby. I'm here. I'm ready to go. And that's the thing, like this channel, it went through a lot of different iterations. At one point, there was going to be a live stream, this live stream, where I was actually going to show off all the scrap content. Not going to happen. Might still reveal that one day, I've still got it. But continuity error, the name, the process of finding the name was really difficult, but I eventually landed on it, because a continuity error is, in filmmaking, it's when something doesn't quite line up. It's like when someone's wearing earrings and then in the next shot they're missing and then the next shot they're back. It's when there's like a mistake in the kind of timeline of the film roll. But of course, this can also be applied to literature. Continuity error isn't just a fun little name. Don't mind this, we'll talk about this. Continuity error is not just a fun little name, and you can see the symbols of the star with the arrow going out of it. You know, it's not just a fun little name for what I do. Analyzing the gaps in, you know, the story, analyzing, you know, the things which aren't obvious, the things which aren't explicit, the things that need explaining in a pretentious 20-minute video essay. Continuity error is Five Nights at Freddy's. Continuity error is Five Nights at Freddy's. This star represents Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, there's always stars in the main menu. This is everything I love about Five Nights at Freddy's. This blue arrow is the lore. And there are always missing pieces. These are the gaps in the lore. I mean, even the text fonts. Error is taken from FNaF 3, I believe. That is Five Computers in Love. The colours, you know, orange, yellow, blue. Continuity error. Again, like, FNaF is a continuity error. It is a series of lots of little continuity errors. I mean, the logo of the channel is in the thumbnails for Track and Trace. Did you think that was a coincidence? Me reusing assets? No. This channel was originally built to be a FNaF Lore channel, because FNaF Lore is just continuity errors all over the place. But, you know, it expanded from that. I decided there are other games that I feel as passionate about. There are other topics that I want to discuss. And there are other things which can actually perform really well on YouTube as well, and I can use to grow and build an interesting, vibrant, dynamic YouTube channel that actually has something to say. And that is what this is all about. That is what this has always been about. And I know I've been rambling on and on and on without reading chat or checking in for a while. I told you you have to wait, and this took way longer than I thought it would, but I promise we'll still make time for the Q&A. I feel like maybe subconsciously I hadn't realized how much I needed to get off my chest, because I didn't actually plan to say everything just there, but I really feel like I've said all the exact things I need to. I mean, that's it, guys. That's what continuity error is. That's what it's all about. I'm linking back to the start now. The thing is, Mr. Matt came before. For those of you who don't know, and I've referenced this a few times, this is the other channel. This is my main channel, according to some, because this is the channel that I've been live streaming on since 2019. If you go back in time, that's actually videos, that's not live streams. If you go back in time, you will find the old content from 2019. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of things over time, including this tomorrow, which you might be interested in because it's a similar topic. So if you want to check this out, I'll put the link in chat because it is relevant. And I don't know if you would be interested, but it is a similar topic. So, you know, definitely consider subscribing to my other channel. But I wouldn't consider Mr. Matt the main channel and Continuity Error the secondary. These are two different but equal channels. They have different aims, different objectives, and they're doing different things. But they are two channels that are neither subordinate nor superior to one another. Continuity Error is its own thing, and I want to keep it that way. And I want to just keep doing what I love doing, no matter what. So, forgive me for being ambivalent when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's, because the thing I used to love the most has become the thing I despise the most. And there's not much hope in the foreseeable future for now. Even if there was, I mean, it's never going to go back to how it was in the old days, and that's okay, but there's a lot of things that I wish would change, either back or forward into something a bit more positive. But, you know, this channel is not just going to be Five Nights at Freddy's. I want to make that absolutely clear. I don't care if all of my FNaF videos get 10 times the views of everything else combined. Iron Lung proved to be popular, even though there's no more content I can make on it. That video is very good. I want to do more SCP stuff. I want to do a lot more DDLC stuff. I want to come back to Baldi's Basics. And who knows, there's probably going to be a couple extra things in the mix. Like, I have so many ideas for this channel. And I think finally, with this stream, we're at the turning point where I've kind of defined what the channel is. We've got enough videos now to say, hey, look at this. This is what the channel's about. And, you know, we've actually got, like, a couple playlists now that are growing, you know? And I think if I can just get back to producing videos a bit more frequently, and if I could just, you know, find a bit more time than I have this year, because this year I was bogged down with an ambitious video, and then, like, uni commitments were strong, and then I was on holiday and I had my room renovated, and I was working away from home, so I just didn't have enough time to physically access my PC. Hopefully, I'm going to be done with all that, and I'm going to find a way to fit this into my schedule and really get going with some good videos before the year ends, because I am looking forward to the future of this channel. There's so much I want to do with it. But anyways, with that out of the way, it is finally time for the Q&A. Let's end this stream. Let's do something nice on a positive note. I'm sorry for making you guys wait so long. I'm going to catch up with chat now. I don't know if this was actually that entertaining. I like to think that the value is in what I'm saying and that I'm just making some intellectually interesting points. Screw it. You know, I'll take off the hat. I don't need it anymore. I've just got to stop, you know, imitating Ambience here. You guys know who Ambience is? He has a red cap. It looks very cool. Definitely a subtle nod to him and not just a hat that I bought on holiday because I thought it looked cool. But yeah, I will timestamp all of this. How are we all doing in chat? I'm sorry, I went absolutely off on a ranting tangent. That's how strongly I feel about this. I lost control, dude. Like, how does that even happen? God damn, I'm so sorry. I should have scripted and planned this more maybe, but it's too late now. It's a live stream, guys. That's kind of the point. Oh well. But yes. Thank you for leaving a like. I really appreciate it. Everyone who's liked, subscribed, shared this. Everyone who's, you know, enabled notifications with the bell, or better yet, joined the Discord, link description. I really, really appreciate it. Honestly, I really do. Yeah. I'm just gonna read back. Insta, that's a good summary, and it's really sad, but yeah. So Q&A. FNaF Lore questions, questions about me personally, the channel, anything. What have you got for me? Mike and William didn't recognize each other in the movie trailer. Did they not? That's weird. Maybe Mike isn't an Afton. Maybe in this universe, it's just Mike Schmidt, and there's no Afton family. It's just William. I would be down for that, to be honest. Yeah. So, what happened when The Secret was out? What secret? Is it because they aren't related, or did William abandon his kids? Jack, I don't know. Maybe it's like a secret father kind of thing. Like, Michael was raised by, like, Aunt Jen or something, and it's like, you know, William's secretly his dad, and we don't know about that. But yeah. Pizzeria Simulator 2? No, don't ruin that game. The fact that there is such a thing as a Help Wanted 2 is absolutely hilarious to me. Unless it's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There shouldn't be a 2 of anything. Help Wanted is a FNaF spin-off. Like, Help Wanted 2 is just laughable. Like, why are they doing Help Wanted? But again, literally no one asked for that. Just do a DLC for Help Wanted, for God's sake. It's honestly just embarrassing. Maybe it'll be okay. Some people are positive about it, but it's like, it's such a creatively, you know, deprived decision. I mean in concept, not in context of what the story is currently out. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, okay. But yeah. God, yeah, the latest FNaF Plus drama, honestly. I am so... Like, I used to be, like heated over this stuff. Now I have complete and total apathy. I don't care. I used to be really excited for FNaF Plus. I made a bunch of videos on it. I was hyped about it. I followed the marketing. We had all the teaser images on Twitter, and the YouTube videos, and then the Steam page revealed, and there was so much, and then it just went radio silent for months, and then suddenly it's cancelled. What an absolute waste. I think Scott Cawthon himself needs to make a remaster of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 in the style of Pizzeria Simulator. I think that's what needs to happen, maybe for the 10th anniversary. That would be nice, but I wouldn't expect anything. But yes. Honestly, here's the thing, Mac. The Afton ending sucked, but at least it ain't the canon one, right? There was no confirmed canon ending for Security Breach, but the fan base latched onto the idea that it has to be the canon one. And it's like, there's no arguing with that. It's like, it's true because everyone says so. And this is part of my frustration with the FNaF fanbase. It's like, they're a weird kind of like cult. It's like, you know, the truth isn't objective. The truth is subjective and dictated by whatever power base currently lies in the FNaF fandom. Oh, so-and-so says this is canon, well then it is. And it's like, you're not using your, you know, brain to critically think and analyze this for yourself. You're just accepting the word of others blindly for no good reason, especially with such a shit ending. But yeah, it was, God, yeah, the fandom. Is the video bug out for everyone else? No? Oh, that's weird. Chaotic Silver, I think that was just you. That's weird. Lid! Yeah, hello, welcome. Probably just YouTube being YouTube, I get that, yeah. Chaotic Silver, it's funny that you bring it up. I have made my own games. I did make one good FNaF game, one terrible meme game, and then like 3 or 4 completely unfinished projects that will never see the light of day. I deleted them, don't try finding them, I don't want you to find them. I did try and rewrite the FNaF lore to be something I would enjoy theorizing about with consistent lore, but the way it was told and the dramatization was bad. It was mediocre. And I think my dream game would be something, I mean, I have many different dream games. That could be a whole stream. I think Five Nights at Freddy's is just one of those dream games. Something like Pizzeria Simulator, but without the issues. I have a lot of dream games. I love Minecraft, for example. That's a dream game. Absolute classic. Portal 2 is a gem. But, you know, I'm picking obvious ones here. There's all kinds. Iron Lung is really good. Yeah. But, yeah, fake ambience. This is really entertaining. I'm glad I was here to experience it live. It's understandable. Ranting is sometimes the best thing to do to get it off your chest. Can't do that in a video. That's for a live stream. Guys, if there are things I've cut out of some of these videos, which I hope never see the light of day. Holy crap. I really appreciate that, Donnie. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because this was literally just me talking at the camera and, like, kind of, you know, presenting a few things. But I'm passionate about it. Like, this is what it's all about. I didn't even mean to go on a rant. I just kind of ended up going on a tangent because, like, I stopped thinking consciously that I forgot I was streaming. But yeah, Insta, welcome. Aunt Jen. Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while, right? But yeah, Lid, I gotta agree. I don't completely hate the sci-fi element of FNaF. I think there's things which work, which are really interesting. I'm fascinated by the mechanics of Remnant and the Scooper. But I think stuff like the Illusion Discs and Phasgoo doesn't belong in this franchise and should be relegated outside of canon. I think, again, the sheer scale and undergroundness of the Sister Location bunker is too much to suspend the disbelief. I feel like the whole aesthetic of Sister Location should have been like a circus with like cloth stuff and with like a makeshift workshop-y kind of thing, rather than all this high-tech futuristic chrome crap and everything being really big. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, and I have to agree. I'm not one of those people who thinks Sister Location ruined the FNaF lore, but that was when FNaF went in the sci-fi direction, and I'd be lying if I said if it was a good decision. Baka Jr., Freddy in Space 2 is completely different. Freddy in Space 1 was only a part of FNaF World, so that was Freddy in Space 2 getting its own game. And Freddy in Space 2 was made for charity. It's a nice, lovely, enjoyable, you know, isolated, you know, non-canon game. It's just a fun experience. Help Wanted 2 was going to be a sellout. But yes, Mac, that's what I mean, yeah. So, I started feeling really passionate about FNaF like March 2015. It wasn't until August 2016 that I actually said, Mom was like, I should get you something for your birthday, what do you want? And I was like, okay, it's been months, let me try. Could I buy the Five Nights at Freddy's game? Could I buy the Five Nights at Freddy's games? And she's like, what's that? And the rest, as they say, is history. It was like a year and a half, basically, of only watching and consuming FNaF through YouTube videos and Reddit posts. I did not actually own a Steam account. I did not play the games for myself until like 2016. I did actually play FNaF World, I think. Either before or after the first 4 games. I think I did play FNaF World, because that was on Game Jolt. So I'm not sure. FNaF World might have been the first one I played, but I did watch playthroughs before I played that, both Update 1 and 2. But yeah. Ruin kind of soft confirmed the after ending wasn't canon and said Princess Quest being the canon ending. I don't even remember which one that is. I don't care. Like, if I had a penny... Hold on. Excuse me. If I had a penny every time someone in the last like couple of weeks has asked me about Ruin, mentioned Ruin, Ruin's appeared in my feed, or like every time someone's been like, so, what do you think of Ruin? Like, bitch, I'm not even gonna watch it, never mind play it. Like, I don't care. There is nothing that Security Breach can do to redeem itself. You can, you know, the foundations are a pile of shit. The best you can get is a diamond embedded in a pile of shit. And it's going to collapse anyways. Like, even if Security Breach had all of its glitches and bugs fixed, which it mostly has, it would still be a rubbish game. It's boring. It's tedious. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. I don't care. Honestly, yeah, the comic strip thing is so bad. It's like they were trying so hard to imitate Pizza Sim, but it just made it look like the budget ran out. Like, thematically, the comic strips have no relevance. They only appear for those specific endings, and then it's animated anyways for some of them. It's so dumb. Excuse me. And, like, I don't know, man. I just, I don't think it matters now. I think, like, FNaF has so many bigger problems than, like, the after ending. Because the lore, anyway, is crap with these new games. And I think, like, there's, you know, so many real, legitimate issues facing FNaF as an IP, as a business, as a franchise. Anyway. I feel like we should get into actual Q&A stuff now. It doesn't have to be FNaF lore. I think I've made it clear. It's where this channel started, but it's not end-all be-all. Donnie Productions asks, would you ever want to collab with some other creators on videos? You know, probably. That would be awesome. I have had collaborations planned since the beginning of Continuity Era that I've just never gotten around to because it takes a long time just to produce one video. And I can't confirm anything, but there are reasons that the specific channels listed on the channels tab are there already. Technically, I have already collaborated. Shubs made the art for the channel. True Player has made has got gameplay footage for me. I've used some of Ambience's footage for something, and he kind of inspired me a little bit with some of the videos. Shy Crow I've collaborated with over on his channel. I've done editing for him a few times. Super Mario DJ. There is an entire bonus Continuity Era episode on the DJ channel. He should be on here. Yeah, there's an entire episode of Continuity Era just sitting over on this channel instead. This one. I'm gonna add this to a playlist. I'm gonna add this to DDLC Demystified, because that is basically a bonus episode. And, you know, obviously there's my other channels, like Mr. Matt and Matt's the Mist, which is where clips get uploaded. There are actually some continuity error clips here, by the way. Like, this is from, you know, the Sayori video, you know? Some of these are not from Mr. Matt live streams. I have a gaming channel where I do live streams every day. Some of these are actually, you know, from continuity error. But yeah, this is the channel I've had for the longest, and there's an event going on over there right now, which is why the banner looks different than it normally does. But yeah, Donnie, it may surprise some of you to know, by the way, there was at one point a collaboration planned with Pastra, of all people, which is crazy. I know, but Pastra basically turned up, thanks to Ambience, on a live stream I did for Charity Water. Pretty on brand for the Hydration Nation. Ages ago, I did a charity stream, and I was playing Pop Goes Arcade, and Pastra turned up, and I actually got to talk to the guy in voice chat. Now, at the time, I thought, oh man, Pastra, he's like an active channel. He's got like 50,000 subs, I think. Like, that's pretty hefty. It'd be cool to do a collaboration with him, because I think like we're similar in the way we kind of, you know, analyze and communicate and produce our videos. And Pastra's audience had a high demand for an Einlong video, but Pastra didn't have anything to say about Einlong, so I was like, hey, I'm making an Einlong video. But it never took off because the dude was too busy, and I checked back and I realized, holy shit, this guy has millions of subscribers. That channel is way bigger than I thought it was. I thought he was doing YouTube as like a part-time job like Ambience was. No. Dude's a full-time YouTuber. He's very busy. He's got way more important things to do than collaborate with little old me. And I was like, oh my god, I had no idea. And looking back on that stream now, I can see why they laughed at me when I suggested that. But like, why should sub count matter? Okay? I'm not trying to... Well, I totally would have been leeching off Pastra's success. But man, it probably wouldn't have been that good, to be honest. Because I'm not sure how exactly it would have been done. It only got past like early stages. You know, we didn't formally plan anything. I just mentioned it to him, and he was like, maybe. But honestly, I'm perfectly happy with the Einlong video, and I wouldn't change it. I don't know what I would collaborate with Pastra on, but that would be awesome. And I'm just honored to have met the guy, because I think he's really quite intelligent, and like has a really... His content is exactly what inspired Continuity Era. Like, if there was a YouTuber I was trying to imitate, it's Pastra. But Pastra's, like, this is like a full-time gig for him, and it's very serious, and it's like our routines wouldn't match up, because I am still committed to my university degree and other things. Unless this channel is monetized to the point where I can actually profit enough off it to live off it, which is not going to happen soon. I can't really, you know, I can't really facilitate that. But yeah, I'm sure there's loads of people out there who would be cool to collaborate with, but there's nothing else specifically which I have in mind. My dream game is Portal 3. I don't think there needs to be a Portal 3. I don't think there should be. The story's done. I think there need to be Portal spin-offs, which there already have been. I do not think there should be a Portal 3. There's already so much in the way of workshop stuff as well, fan games. There does not need to be a Portal 3. Would you ever want to collab with someone? So you just answered that. Yep. Gmod 2. Isn't tomorrow 101? Yes. Good opinion. At least you don't have to know about the Brazil ending. George Arch, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yeah. We are not talking exclusively about Ruin. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, no we didn't. If you're so much of a pushover of fandom makes your game terrible, then I don't know what to say to you. I don't think it's entirely the fandom's fault. This is something I'm actually going to go into more detail with on my tier list stream. Tomorrow. I'm going to talk about this in more detail here, because you can see it is here. But, the FNaF fandom are not to blame for Security Breach. Steelwolf's to blame for Security Breach. They were over-ambitious, and both they and Scott Cawthon were trying to appease the fandom when they should have been ignoring them like the petty little children they were, and just took the time to produce something that was good. They did not. And actually, I've replayed Help Wanted recently, And I think I understand it now. I think I understand my opinion on Help Wanted, because for years it's oscillated. There was a point where I thought it was like S tier, best FNAF game ever produced, objectively, even if I wasn't that big on it personally. There was a time where I thought it was one of the worst, like D or E tier, and I thought, you know, it's actually not got that much going on. I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's hard to explain, but I will explain the tier list tomorrow. Help Wanted is... We should have seen Security Breach coming. That's all I'm going to say. We should have seen it coming, and we didn't. And I didn't, because I didn't play it, and nobody talked about aspects of the game. But yeah. Tomorrow's debate thing, oh. It's going to be so good. I need to go prepare for that. I do not have all of the tier lists ready for this. This is going to be a huge stream. It's going to be even longer than this one. And I think I need to end this stream now. But yeah, I should try and get more of these streams, as in collab. I missed them out. I forgot that collab role was removed from them out. George, I don't know why nobody understands this. I swear I've explained this on multiple occasions. The collaborator role is temporary. I give and take it, you know, just for a few days when someone's collaborating. Unless you're actively collaborating with me, you don't have it. If you want to collaborate with me, all you got to do is message, man. I mean, you can enable a Mr. Matt Suggestions ping role to be notified whenever there's a collaboration opportunity. You know, it's all there on the Discord. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of info, but like I'll walk you through it if you want. Yeah. George, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of FNAF fans on all sides of the arguments who don't understand how game development works, who don't understand how humans work, and have a very distorted perception of gaming because of Five Nights at Freddy's. Absolutely right, mate. It's like, I hate that Steelwool was under so much pressure from the fandom and Sony. I hate that Steel will put themselves under the pressure with this ambitious game. I hate that Scott Cawthon let them have it without any kind of oversight or moderation. I hate that Scott Cawthon has been a coward and has just kind of dipped out of dealing with his fan base and just allowed everything to just happen without a word on it. Honestly, it's ugh. It's like you see him post on Reddit and he's all like smiling and cheery, like, FNAF movie in a month, guys, see you there. It's like, we're going to talk about the, you know, shitfest that went down last night. We're going to talk about yet another one of your Fanverse devs being cancelled and, you know, being, like, removed. Like, Jesus. The sheer amount of controversies associated with FNAF between 2021 and 2022, or even now, I've stopped following it, but I know of one recent one. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like it in other fanbase. This fanbase was normal. It was chill. It had its ugly parts. They all do. And now it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, FNAF Lore Deep Dive plus Q&A on Continuity Error. I think I've talked about everything I needed to. I tell you what, though, I really do love this image. Like, I think, some of this is wrong, but like, this was really helpful, I think, for being introduced to the FNAF lore. I hope you guys enjoyed the deep dive. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A, because I gotta end the stream soon. So if you've got any more questions at all, because I've explained a lot of things, like, there's a lot of generic Q&A questions, like, you know, oh, when did you first get into FNAF? What was your first FNAF game? You know, how'd the channel start? Why is the channel named that? But I explained all of that in my fucking 1 hour rant. I gotta stop swearing so much, man. Like, this shit still riles me up. That's how weak I am. It's pathetic. It's just a game series. That's what we all thought, eh? Exactly. In an alternate timeline. Don't worry about FNAF Plus. John and Chrome knows Game Maker so we can finish it. Dude. The Joy of Creation Ignited collection is probably going to be, like, perfection. The original was already, like, perfect. The thing is, though, there's the question on whether or not it's even going to make it to release. I mean, Flumpties 3 got squeezed in because the whole Jonochrome allegations didn't start until after that released. And, you know, after Built was shot down, Kane Carter has run himself into the ground. And, you know, I'll be honest. Pop Goes Arcade is mid. I think the DLC carries it, same as Help Wanted. The other thing they made, My Pop Goes, is neat, but like waste of time. You know, Emil Mako's dead, but I will happily wait years for the Fanverse games if they're good. But you know, the Fizzon thing is very disappointing. There's only 3 Fanverse games left, and I don't have any hope that any of them are actually going to release complete in the intended way. Emil Mako's the only one who hasn't been involved in any kind of drama, and it's like, I feel like it's a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before he's cancelled for some skeleton in his closet, or he says or does something stupid. Nixon barely got away, because it was like a long time ago. Ugh, it's just sad. It's just sad, man. I can't enjoy FNaF like I used to anymore. I tried. There was like 6 months between Security Breach and me officially leaving the FNaF fandom, where I was like, I can still enjoy it. I couldn't. There was so much rubbish going down. Even now, it's still going, and it's like I can't, you know, engage with this fan base anymore. It's so much worse than it kind of used to be. But you know, there's still little bits and bobs like this, I guess. This counts as interacting with the FNaF fan base, doesn't it? It doesn't make me a FNaF fan, but you know, yeah. It's just sad, because like we had such a good thing going, and there was, honestly, this is the thing, all of this was avoidable. Every single one was avoidable if people just communicated better, if they just, you know, used their reason, but they didn't. All of this was avoidable. But yeah, I mean, we are living in one of the worst timelines. I guess the FNaF movie is going to make or break. This is what I was saying earlier. The FNaF movie is like the only thing left that I'm looking forward to. Fazbear Frights is over. The new book series centers on Security Breach, so no thanks. The fanverse has become so toxic that I actually genuinely don't care for it anymore. Like, if all of those games fail, then like I'm not interested. And you know, there's nothing else. There's Steel Wool. I mean, no thanks. Can't trust any of them anymore. There's no games and there's no books. There's just the movie. The movie's the only thing I'm even slightly interested in checking out, because I think it might be okay. But I'll have to judge when I see it. But yeah, I don't know. Look at it this way though, fellas. It's not all FNaF. FNaF is obviously important, but we need to move beyond. And I feel like I have moved beyond enough that I can comfortably come back in this fashion for the anniversary and not feel too bad about it. Like, yeah, it's sad, but you know, we're doing some fun content here. I'm doing what I want to do. And I'm telling you right now, the next video that's going to be published, probably going to be a Baldi's Basics video. Not sure. But there's stuff I want to do on these other games. DDLC Demystified is definitely going to be my longest running series. I have 14 episodes planned for that in total. And I've only done 3 of them, so there's a lot to come with that. And, you know, I want to do more one-offs. Not all games need to be series on this channel. Iron Lung works as one good video. I feel like I could do more one good videos and more SCP stuff, whether that's Secret Lab or not. But yeah, I'm going to go, guys. That's it. That's the end. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow back over on Mr. Matt. If you don't know what it is, it's my other channel. Check it out. Everything is linked in the description. Alright. Everything should be linked down below here. Yeah, there's my Discord server. There's my main channel. I already called it my main channel. Why did I call it my main channel? It's not my main channel. That must have changed at some point. I'm call it my other channel. Because I feel like main channel... I like what main channel insinuates. How long has that been there? I must have forgotten to update that like months ago. Obviously, we've got the music. Credit to Leon Riskin for some of the music I played. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. My FNaF playlist. Nice. Alright, well, you know what? In celebration of the dark times, I'll go with music from what is pretty much universally regarded as the worst FNaF game. I'm not sure I agree, but it's probably close enough that it doesn't matter. I'm going to try and update the timestamps. It might be a few hours. It might be a couple days, guys. I'm sorry. I will update those as soon as I can. But we are pretty much done here. We have done everything that we needed to do, I feel like. And I know I rambled on and on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip segments from this so it's nice and concise. And you've got all the best stuff. Oh! Oh! I forgot about something. Hold on. There's something I forgot about. There's something I completely forgot to include. Because guys, there's one more thing before we finish this. And also, let me finish off the questions. If you have any more questions, guys, I'm going to give you like 5 minutes. You got to ask now because I'm ending the stream. Looking forward to the DDLC videos. Yes, you are, Donnie, and me too. God, I can't wait to get to, like, Yuri and Natsuki's poems. It's going to be a blast. But yeah. Baka Jr., you think the community has gotten more corrupted like Twitter rather than toxic? It's all the same to me. That means the same thing to me, but sure. Repost. Do you have any plans to make more non-lore content like reviews on games or more of gameplay analysis like the SCP video? Yes. Mac, I'm so sorry I missed your original thing. Guys, if I did miss your question, just repost it right now. I wonder if I could actually show off anything on here. Because I have a whole notepad with all the planning for Continuity Era. I have a whole notepad. And it's... I wonder if I could... I can't show off any of this because I want it to be surprises. But yeah. That video is cancelled. That's a good one, which I might do. Okay, yes. I have another game design video coming up. I have at least one game design video with an actual solid plan that will be releasing this year. Just the one. But that's only, like, actually written down on paper. I am planning to make more non-lore content. Most of this channel will be lore content, I feel like. But I do have a non-lore video coming up on a game that I've already covered. So you guys might enjoy that. And I have a lot of, I actually do have some extra FNaF videos that are not track and trace videos coming up. Think like the Mr. Hippo video. I've got stuff like that in the works. 2006 to 2016 was the golden age of the internet. I guess, but things got to change. Things got to evolve. We got to move with the times. We got to adapt to new problems and fight new struggles. Oh yeah, Fury's Rage is so bad we all collectively forget it exists. I don't believe that game even exists. That's how bad it is. It's like in a negative tier on the tier list. My question: if a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck? Well, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, then a woodchuck would chuck quite a lot of wood, at least. The next Hunger Games sim. Baka Jr. Interesting question. This is a thing on the other channel. Halloween is the short answer. If that. It's not going to be for a while, mate. I'm sorry. I don't have any Hunger Games sims or charity streams that they always happen in planned for a while. Halloween is probably when. Because I've got other events happening in the meantime. But yeah, guys, there's one more thing that I really wanted to share. And that was actually in DMs with my girlfriend, Lucy, Creenella, Chubbs Deuce. I'm just going to read out what she put here because I asked her, I was asking her, you know what, and I didn't ask anyone else. She was the only person I asked this. I was like, you're good at this, and you have deep in the source like I am. You have been. Like, what should I talk about in this stream? And she explained the things that I'd been thinking in such a perfectly spoken and written and coherent way that has all the right words and hits all the right beats and ideas. I have to read it out word for word. I promise this is not written by ChatGPT. It's better. Like, this impressed me so much, I completely forgot about it, but I want to end the stream on a wise note, and I think Lucy is infinitely more wise than me. She's a woman, you know. So, men are... So, let me just read this out, okay? I asked her, like, if you were going to do a presentation on the FNaF lore, like, what would you talk about? No, it's not just the content, like, specific in-universe events, but the process, like, how and why we theorize. And she said, I probably want to try and explore the why do we care, where is the benefit question, which can be answered both briefly in summary with cognitive enrichment and the satisfaction of figuring something out, as well as much more nuanced, elaborate exploration of the inane human need to connect and understand, not just with other people and theorists in conversation, but also fictional characters and stories. I would maybe end up concluding that something along the lines of deep diving into fictional lore being far from a necessary or even high priority activity that, if taken too seriously or indulged in too severely, can even be harmful and toxic, but also recognizing that it can simultaneously vastly enrich a person's life by appeasing the natural human drive for understanding and problem solving, as well as sharpening someone's media literacy, and might even connect them to more like-minded peers along the way. It's all about balance, really. I kind of hate when people go out of their way to shut someone down for having a harmless, passionate interest in a specific story or fictional world just because the person refuses to see the worth in something that isn't of tangible benefit in the context of real-world problems. I can't imagine living a life so dull and devoid of actually making use of your brain, even when it's not of any benefit to anyone but me and my personal amusement. A hobby and skill doesn't have to be useful or practical to be a good way to spend time, and FNaF Lore has just enough canyons for gaps to have a lot of creative freedom to explore various outcomes and concepts, but is also just tight enough to make for a coherent, intriguing story that you get as a reward for engaging with it. It's fun to think about this stuff. And like, that is the level of dialogue that I aspire to achieve after working for weeks on a script. She wrote that off the cuff as a direct message. That is what I aspire to have my script sound like, and I'm not even close. So, I think this deserves a shout out. She has a YouTube channel, just so you're aware. If you go to Continuity Era channels, you will find Kreenella. But the social media that she's by far the most active on is her Tumblr blog, Chubbs Deuce. So definitely go check this out. I don't know why it took me there. That's her main page. I know, Tumblr, trust me, she'll tell you all about it. She posts some good stuff. I'm just going to scroll through. Yeah, there's all kinds of things here. Art, relatable posts, memes. And I'm going to link it in chat just because... I'm not going to pin it. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm going to pin something else. I'm going to pin... I'm just going to put Chubbs Deuce in here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pin... Where is it? That's right. I need to pin a different message in chat. I need to have the notices for newcomers. Because this is actually what I always have on the Mr. Matt live streams. So that's a fun little Easter egg. But yeah. But I think she summed up everything there. All the good, all the bad, the kind of why we do it. It's fun. At the end of the day, it's an intellectual activity and it's fun. That's what it needs to be. It doesn't need to have material benefit. That's what all of this is. You know, there may actually be some material benefit, you know, in, like, the long run. Because this is personal development for me and for you. This is an intellectual, you know, mind-opening exploration. This is a thing, this whole process of me making videos and you watching them and us talking to each other in the comments. This is a process where we can learn about art. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much. But yeah. Word for word, baby. Lamau. Oh, yeah. I didn't even ask Ambience. I probably should have. He would have a really good answer, but I've been tight for time, and Lucy is always the first person I go to. I don't message Ambience often because, like, his activity is all over the place. He'll forget to reply, and, like, he's a busy guy. Especially now with the FNaF anniversary, so he wouldn't give me the best answer anyway. But yeah. I mean, the guy who married Hatsune Miku exists, so you do have a point. What about, in Japan, marriage to a pillow is possible, so relations to a robot would be possible, I think. Jesus. Let's not go there. Give it a few years, it'll be a real problem for politicians to, you know, tackle. But yeah. Oh yeah, I saw this question recently. Do you think games have to be fun? Obviously. I mean, a game's primary function is entertainment, which is fun. I suppose you could make a game which isn't fun and is made for something else, such as education, but I don't think it would be a very good game. The best games are always fun, and there's no strict definition for what is or isn't fun. There are lots of different ways of having fun and being fun. I think a game has to be fun, though. That's like a fundamental thing. Anyway, I said I'd end the stream like half an hour ago. I'm actually going to end it now. So, thank you so much for watching. I was going to play this for the outro, wasn't I? I don't know. God, what am I doing? I don't know. All the links are in the description, alright? Check them out. This has been Continuity Error Live. The one and only. Maybe one day I'll go live again on here. Maybe not. I don't know. It's funny to think about how different the background looks, because this is also probably unique to this stream, because my room's being renovated, so soon enough this is all going to be rearranged anyway on the main channel. Man, that music's loud. But anyways, I guess this is the part where I say thank you for your time. Like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell and check the links in the description if you want to support me. It helps you getting notifications from the Discord server, especially with the ping and notification enabled. And it helps me with all the support of the channel. The subscriptions, the likes, it's all going up, guys. It's only a matter of time before, this channel's monetized, really. This is something else I wanted to think about and mention. But I just want to say I really am grateful for everything that you do. It's absolutely incredible what we've achieved here. And it's really exciting. It's really exciting. So, with that being said, keep the stream going forever. Every like, I keep going for another hour. No. I don't know. We've got some last minute questions. If you died and had to possess something, what would you possess? A computer. I feel like I could live in a computer. I don't know. The special shout out to the people who are here start to finish. You were here for a very limited time event. If Afton's personal hell is UCN, would a streamer's personal hell be an eternal live stream? Probably. I don't know. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for watching. Share the links in the description. Alright? I need a question. I don't have a question. Ooh, hold on. I was also going to say, the monetization tab isn't here. I think it's this now. They changed it to earn. Ooh. Eligibility. They've completely changed this. Am I eligible? 1,000 subscribers. I'm reliving history. This is exactly what happened with my first channel. If we reach 1,000 subscribers, I'll be eligible for monetization. I'm a lot closer than I thought I would be. Like, look at the public watch hours. When did I get this close? I'm just saying. Do I get an I was here special role in HN? That's a cool idea. I kind of want to do that now. Guys, DM me on Discord to claim your role. Give me your... help me find you on Discord. That's a fun idea. Like all things, even this channel, we are improvising and evolving and coming up with things along the way. Right at the end. Alright, boys. Well, maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. I feel like it's a bit unfair because this wasn't marketed as a huge thing. It's just like a one-off stream. I don't think I'll give it a roll, but I might think of something. Anyways, Mr. Matt going live tomorrow and the day after, and the day after that, 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 and a few more. So, go subscribe. 500 subs is for channel memberships. Damn, you gotta have memberships before AdRev? Maybe I need to make memberships. We're thinking about the future now. I guess I haven't really talked about the future of Continuity Error. Maybe I need to do another stream for that. There'll be community posts though. I don't have a lot to say yet. I just want to get back to making videos, and I've got a bunch of ideas. I just need time. We've just had 2 big releases, so Continuity Error is definitely going to go dark for a bit. It's going to be a bit quiet for like a month, but I'll be back. I don't know when, but I will come back. I always do. Yeah, the future. I need to iron things out. I don't have any specific plans. I just want to make more videos indefinitely. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, I think I know what Continuity Error is now. It's a fun channel. We talk about indie video games, not just FNaF. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. You almost got me. subscribe, and speculate. When do you think we can hit 1,000 subscribers?